Balloonatics in Benton is the largest balloon and gift store in Arkansas. You'll find more than 700 different balloons for all occasions, but that's only the start. Balloonatics also has candy bouquets, custom-made gift baskets, hundreds of soft, cuddly stuffed animals, a big selection of over-the-hill gag gifts and party supplies. Balloonatics is your Thai Beanie Babies official club headquarters. We do custom decorating for any event, and we deliver from Glen Rose to Little Rock. So what are you waiting for? Join the fun with Pat Gibson and her friendly, courteous staff at Balloonatics.
BTS, it's back to school.
At Benton and Bryant Karate for Kids Family Center, it's back to fun. Karate is great for kids. Build self-esteem and confidence. Learn self-defense and more at Karate for Kids.
BTS.
Want to do this? We'll show you how. Get started today with our back-to-school special, just $19.95.
BTS, it's back to school.
Benton and Bryant's Karate for Kids.
Sometimes tension in a relationship is good, especially if it's the new tension set mounting developed exclusively in Arkansas by Croft Custom Jewelers. For all your gift ideas and special occasions, come by Croft Custom Jewelers and experience jewelry with passion. Croft Custom Jewelers is a great selection of platinum, 18-karat gold, diamonds, 14-karat slide bracelets, and other fine jewelry at affordable prices. Croft Custom Jewelers, jewelry with passion.
Location, location, location. These are three of the most important words in real estate, and Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden is one of the most experienced real estate agencies in Saline County. Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden is part of a nationwide network of real estate firms that have combined resources to give you the advantage of our local expertise, plus the benefit of our nationally recognized and respected name. So remember, when it comes to real estate, come to Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden.
Johnston's Maytag Benton Silvac has a new location, now at 1423 Military Road next to the new post office in Benton. But we've still got the best appliances, parts, and service you've known for over 20 years. We sell, repair, and service all makes and models. Check out our gas grill selection, sewing machines, televisions, vacuum cleaners, and much, much more.
If we don't have it, you probably don't need it.
Now at 1423 Military next to the new post office in Benton.
From War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock, it's the Bryant Hornets football game between the Hornets and the Little Rock Catholic Rockets. Tonight, two teams that have won their opening games take each other on in week 2, high school football in Arkansas. I'm Rob Patrick. With me is Jim Legrone. Jim, Hornets coming off a big victory against Conway. What about this game tonight against Catholic?
And how sweet it was to be able to go up to Conway and take them. Nobody in Arkansas thought they could win except for the Hornets. We got 2 or 3 things we got to watch for tonight. Bryant has got to establish the run. Everybody heard about that pass last week. And I think on defense, they've got to figure out how to stop the middle. They had a lot of misdirection plays, and that trap play seemed to be very successful. And as you know, those Catholic Rockets like to run that wishbone. They've got to be able to control the middle of the field on that running attack.
We're about ready for action. Stay tuned.
Here come the Hornets through a big banner the cheerleaders to put up.
They tore down before they got there.
Before they can get through it. But the Rockets are on the field, and they're purple and yellow. It's gold is their official color, but it's a yellow. Yeah. And the Hornets are in their white with blue and red trim. They take the field on the far sideline. We're just about ready for action here.
Rob, it's great to announce once again our sponsors for tonight, and we're so happy to have these folks on board with Hornet Sports this year. And we want to make sure you know that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Rick Lafferty, Diana McEwen, and Liberty Real Estate, Pepsi, by the Bryant Times, your hometown newspaper, by the Learning Center, by Kerry Corson and Phillips Mounty Duke Real Estate. And if you're interested in sponsoring Hornet Sports, and we're also going to be doing basketball and baseball, and I think we'll probably do track this year. I don't know. We're going to do a lot. But be sure to call me. Softball, yeah, absolutely on softball. Be sure to call Coach Tom Farmer at 847-5601. And I tell you, Rob, I'm excited to be back in Falcon this week, and we just look forward to some great football.
It should be an interesting game. Catholic has improved, and from all indications from last week, the Hornets certainly playing well, so it should be an interesting ball game. And of course, anytime you play at War Memorial Stadium, you get the goosebumps. Certainly the players do. It's a special situation where they get to play in the big stadium.
You see those Razorback ghosts everywhere, I believe. They're hovering over this place. And especially the Razorback news this week is Steve Little's untimely death and his story. And I got to watch Little play in this stadium a few times.
Indeed. They're having the national anthem at this time, and of course we aren't mic'd up to hear that for you, or play that for you. So we'll go ahead and tell you that the Hornets will be kicking from your right to your left. Josh Alt will be doing the kicking, and they will have the option to get the ball in the second half. That's always the advantage.
Oh, yes. Whether you're behind or in front, you want to be able to have control
no matter what
during the second half of football, because, you know, it doesn't matter who's winning the whole game. It's who wins when the clock runs out in that fourth quarter. Rob, let's talk a minute, if we can, about that offensive set we watched. We heard about the no huddle all week. Great anticipation to watch it. But it really wasn't an up-tempo game.
Not necessarily. They use it they can actually use clock because they come to the line of scrimmage and they look at the defense and then they call the plays. This year the Hornets have coaches in the press box where they're able to look down on the field, see how the defense lines up against what Bryant is doing offensively when they come to the line of scrimmage, and they're able to call the play from that, suggest the play from the press box based on what they see from up here of the defense, which is a big advantage over what they've done in the past.
Absolutely, and it was really amazing to watch. They even have almost a trick play where McCoy will go under center and call a few signals and then back off, and just to mess up their timing and the defense and all of that. So it's very interesting. Once again, it's one of those little wrinkles that Coach Pat puts in, and I would dare say I bet you we'll have a couple of surprises tonight.
I bet you we will. And I tell you what, we talk about the obvious nature of the fact that you don't need to have it's obvious that you don't want to turn the ball over, but the Hornets did not turn the ball over once last week, which was one. If they can continue that, you know they're going to have a successful night.
Absolutely, and Alt, of course, one more time before we have the kickoff, what a punt. I still think that was the play of the game last week when he was able to get that punt off under fire, and the breaks went the Hornets' way.
And they made a lot of those breaks.
That's right.
The interception that Josh Bombeck returned for the touchdown, big hit put on him by Patrick Defoe. It was some exciting football, and we certainly expect nothing less than that here tonight at War Memorial Stadium. We're about set for the kickoff. Back deep for Catholic is Ryan James. He's the middleman, and he's flanked by Jeff Pruninski on one side. And it will come down to James. He bobbles it at the 2. He gets it at the 5, across the 10, the 15, and he's not going to get to the 20. Good coverage by the Hornets. Nick Black down there, I see, as well as trying to pick up a couple of those numbers. But Nick Black, I believe, made the first hit.
I tell you, Rob, we haven't seen that kind of play too many times on kickoffs. A very deep kickoff and great coverage down there. You love to see so many Hornets flying to the football. And now you start them inside their own 20, which is exactly what they would have scripted before the game started.
They'll be at the 17 in a big defensive stand. We'll get the field position advantage on the Hornets side very quickly here. It is that wing T with Lineberry, the quarterback. Behind him, Mickle and White. It's going to be White the first carry. He's going to get to the 20 before he's hit hard by Defoe. Underneath there is Jake Newell as well as Philip Prim coming up. White was able to get to the 20, a pickup of 3.
Newell, of course, had many tackles last week. I never did see the tackle chart, so I can't tell you who led. But great hit once again by Defoe.
Lineberry, the quarterback, he played a little bit last year against the Hornets, but mostly was a sub. Behind him, Mickle and White. The wing back, once again, is Graham Bomer. They split a receiver to the right. Bomer in the slot. Handoff to White. They were coming wide on the sweep, but the flag before the play, and it'll either be a offsides or a motion penalty.
Offside.
And it's against the Hornets, so give Catholic 5 more yards.
I tell you also, Rob, I don't want to see as many penalties as we saw last week. And we just seem to have a penalty almost every other play. Both teams had some. Of course, Conway really. I believe they finish with 11 last week, or was it 9?
I believe they had 11 for 92 yards. The Hornets 6 for 58. So it was 17 penalties. Is not what you want to see, but often that's what you see in first game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course, that penalty there makes it second and short, which will change the play probably.
2 yards is all Catholic needs. Hand off to White over the left side. It's going to be close, but I think he's got the first down up to the 28-yard line before he falls forward.
Rob, we were talking about it before the ball game. They're going to test that middle several times tonight to see if the Hornets have made adjustments to clog it up and force them to go outside. You know, some of the folks this year wondered if Catholic's team speed was down just a little bit from what it's been in the past.
Actually, I think it's probably as good as it's been with The wingback Bomer and White, the halfback, they both have pretty good speed, but they've still got that size along the front. Lineberry gives it to Mickle this time. First carry for Mickle, and he's across the 30 before he's brought down by Reynolds and Defoe. They're going to mark it at the 32, so a good gain, more than I thought he got on that plunge there.
These wing T plays are just a little bit different the way the Hornets used to run them. They're still running them almost wide a couple of times on their fake men and their fake pitches, and it still has that wishbone feel to it. It's hard for me to get away from that. This uniform means wishbone, Rob. It just does.
It always has. It always has some great years for Catholic with that wishbone and Coach Davis. So it brings up a 2nd and 6 for Catholic at the 32. Lineberry back to throw his first pass. It's a fade route, and he's got a man open because of that Nick Black, or no, it's Bobby Wynn, who recovers nicely to get in the face of the intended receiver, Chris Prime. Nice job there. Wynn had faltered there, kind of stumbled on trying to get back for it, and the ball held up long enough for him to get back and get a hand up.
Yeah, he was able to get back in time. If he hadn't got that hand up, it would have been a penalty because he had not turned back to look and see where the ball was, but he was fortunate to be able to do that.
This will bring up a 3rd and 6, so this is the kind of situation you want them in.
That's right.
3rd and 6 at the 32. Lineberry threw the fade that time, and it was just a little too high. That again, they've got Prime split out right, and a man in the slot on the opposite side with tight end Rutherford. Again, they throw the fade. They like the way that one went. This time it's overthrown. Wynn stayed with him step for step, and they just threw it a little too long for Prime to run under. So it's going to bring up a punting situation.
Well, now, once again, like I said, Rob, it's just exactly what you want to see him in. Boy, Bobby Wynn was able to stay with him. There was no way he was going to have an opportunity to catch that ball. And so the Hornets did what they wanted. They held him that one first down, aided by penalty, of course, and they should get some good field position out of this. But we need to watch the man from last week who put the pressure on all those punts.
Indeed. Chris Milhorn blocked a couple of kicks, or actually blocked one and pressured another, but that's when the Catholic kicker gets away.
What a roll.
That's going to go all the way down to the Bryant 30-yard line. So a very nice kick of 38 yards.
39 by our official statistician. Got it.
So with 9:27 left to play in the first quarter, the Hornets have the football for the first time.
We didn't say that last week because they ran off that 8-minute drive against us last week, you know, and there was only 2 possessions that whole first quarter against Compton.
Alex Merritt did the punting for Catholic, got a good roll on it. Hornets did put some pressure on, but this time up the middle, and it wasn't from the outside as much. Derek McCoy, the quarterback. The lone setback is Luke Brown. He takes a handoff, hesitates, gets a block, nice move, and he gets up too close to the 35-yard line. Did a nice job of using Joe Gould's block there.
Yeah, and Joe Gould was still on the ground, but the whole flow had come to this side, and he was able to cut back against the grain. And already on the first play, Catholic tried to huddle, but they seemed to be a little more confused than the Conway crew was last week. But we'll see how that plays out.
McCoy looks to the sideline for the signal from Coach Patton. He'll come up and call the play at the line of scrimmage. Hornets in a double wideout situation, both sides of the football, both sides of the field. They've got 2 wide receivers. Lone setback is Brown. He gets a draw play, and it's well sniffed out, though, by the Rockets. Good job there on defense for Catholic. The defensive tackle there coming up to make the play nicely was William Elser.
Well, I tell you, their linebackers were in the backfield.
Well, they did mark it back a little further than I thought they should. Brent was noting it's back inside the 30. We're going to call it a loss of 4 and make it a 3rd down and 10. The Hornets have yet to throw a pass, but it looks like they may have to on this one.
Tell you what, Brent also never gets upset, so it must have been a bad spot.
Double wideouts to the side, the wide side, Matt Brown and Matt White.
He's
looking
open
that way. Brown down the middle, off his fingertips. He was open and had some room to run, but the incomplete pass. Brown looking for a holding call, but none was coming, and the pass was just off his fingertips, so the Hornets will have a 4th and 10 and be forced to punt.
Yeah, that the pass was right there. I don't know if you heard footsteps or not, but the defense was bouncing around him, and the safety was coming up behind him. Need to get a good punt off here.
Josh Auld back to punt. He'd be standing inside his own 20.
Auld in kicking position. Brunetsky deep for the Rockets.
Brunetsky is the deep man for Catholic. High snap, but he catches this one, gets the kick away. Nice spiral coming to the near side. It's going to hit and roll, and a big punt for Josh Alt inside the 20 down to the 19, where it's touched down by Matt Lewis. Josh Alt with a huge kick.
A 51-yarder. Down, hear you correctly, Brent? 51-yard punt in high school.
A nice job by
Great
Josh
job.
Alt. Again, a high snap, but he kept his cool and boomed one.
Those snaps are going to have to come a little bit lower. We're going to get real nervous tonight, Rock.
Rockets again start inside their own 20-yard line. They started their first possession at the 17, this one at the 19. And the special teams playing a role here.
They are early, aren't they?
Certainly have been a factor as far as the field position goes. Neil Linebarrier is the quarterback. Hands off to Mickle, the fullback. He's up over the 20, close out to the 25, or mark it about the 24-yard line. Robbie surge that time.
Robbie expecting to run left behind that line. They got almost 300 pounds and just two men there. Excuse me, almost 600 pounds. And just two, not counting the center or the tight end if he switches over. So you expect him to run where the beef is.
Definitely have some power on that side. It'll be a 2nd and 5 at the 24 for Catholic. 7:25 left in the first quarter. No score yet. Both teams have had a possession and have punted. Catholic with their second try. Linebarrier, the quarterback, hands off again to Mickle. Oh, this time he keeps it on the option, and a nice open field tackle from behind by Luke Brown coming up from behind. A little help from Philip Prim, the other outside linebacker. As it was, Linebarrier was able to get to the 30 for a first down, but it looked like he had a lot more run than
it really did. Looked like he had more room. But Rob, he made that decision quick. He could see the opening there and was going to take that 5 yards. Didn't even try to fake the pitch on that.
He had the wing back behind him trailing the play. I think that's to check the wing back who's been in the game. I think it's Russell Brantley who's been playing instead of Bromer. 1st and 10 at the 30. And Linebarrier looks to pass. Looks short. He's got his tight end, and it's complete, but just a negligible gain as Ryan Rutherford, the big tight end, calls that one. Oh, no, check that. It's 28 instead of 88. That was Baumer making that reception for a gain of 1.
The two Hornets are right there with him, well sniffed out. He's very fortunate that pass was able to thread the needle and not get intercepted.
He'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Kind of rolled out with that one. Wide receiver to the right is Abero, and a wide receiver to the left this time as well. That's Brantley. Handoff inside on the trap play, and the Hornets sniff it out nicely. It was broken up by McClellan, and then Prim cleaned up as White lost yardage on that carry. He's going to be inside the 30. We'll call it the 30-yard line, so a loss of 1 for White on that play.
Absolutely. McClellan taking his man in the backfield, and he was the one to break up the play, forced him to go out a little bit more outside. Make a great stop. 3rd and long, which is what you want.
3rd and 10. We may see that
same
fade
flat
route again.
Right down on this side again to their offensive right.
We'll see who the wide receivers are. Last play, we've got Rutherford, the tight ends, who they usually like to throw to. But instead, this time they've got the wide out to the right, Abero.
He's wide open in the middle, but pressure.
Pressure on Linebarrier, and he has to throw it away as Defoe, McClellan, and Newell were all in there to give Linebarrier trouble. He didn't have time to look at anybody but his primary receiver. He was covered, and he threw it out of bounds, incomplete, and it'll be another punting situation for the Rockets.
You see that tight end wide open in the middle, but he was only open like the door opening closing, and it closed quickly on him. He's unable to see him.
Nice
but again,
job.
Are we going to have a defensive struggle tonight, Rob?
So far, that's the way it's been. The Hornets with the blitz from the middle linebacker and put some pressure on, and now Merritt's in to punt once again. Alex Merritt got away a good one this last time. Hornets with they jump offside. So
I thought I saw some movement on the Catholic line, but we'll see where it's going.
We'll see. Matt Brown was the lone deep safety.
He called it too quick, didn't he? It's going to be against the Hornets again.
Going to move it up 5 yards, but it'll still be 4th and 5.
It's really good, though, Rob, because the Hornets only had 10 men on the field, so it was good to have that penalty so they get all 11. And now they'll be ready to try to put some pressure on this kick.
Looks like they're going for it. Good snap. Kick is away. Brown circles under it around the 34, catches it, and cannot avoid the first tackler. Nice job of coverage there by Catholic's Jordan Parker. He's caught at the 32, and that's where the Hornets will take over.
You know, fans really like you to go after the punt, but when you go after the punt, you sacrifice the return. And he was looking at 6 of those jerseys looking at him as he caught that football.
Not surprised he didn't fair catch it early. But it's 1st and 10 at the 32. McCoy in at quarterback. He's got wide receivers either side, double wideouts. Josh Farmer and Matt Brown to the near side. Over on the far side, it's Michael Wallace, and I believe that's Jonathan Jameson in the ball game. The lone setback now is Matt White. McCoy looks to throw the slant pass, and it's just
right there.
A little behind Wallace, but it's definitely catchable, and Michael just couldn't hang on to it. Nicely thrown and a good pattern run, but he just couldn't hang on, and an incompletion.
They're going to be able to get those. We watched Derek throw so much last week. It's just a matter of time that those passes start getting caught.
2nd and 10 at the 32. Hornets again without their hook. McCoy getting the call from the sideline, makes it at the line of scrimmage. Under center now, and he options. White with the pitch, trying to get wide. He gets the corner and then gets upfield for maybe 5, maybe 6 yards across the 35, and out to, we're going to mark it at the 38-yard line.
I tell you, wasn't it something, when he saw that opening there, he kicked it in high gear, was able to turn the corner and make a good gain, and now this 3rd down is not near as bad as 3rd and 9 and 3rd and 11 as they had just a few moments ago. Second time they've had 3rd down tonight, though.
Matt White, one of the speediest players Bryant's had in a while, and he showed it there by making it to the wide side of the field and getting upfield before the pursuit got to him. Again, Josh Farmer and Matt Brown are split left. It's Wallace and Jameson to the right. Handoff this time to White. He's going again to the wide side. Left, he tries to get around the corner. Outside, he gets it. First down to the 50. 45 breaks the tackle, gets inside the 40. He's still on his feet. 35, and he struggles before they finally get him out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Quite a run by the sophomore.
Man, you always like to see effort like that. You keep thinking he's going to be out of bounds, but he just never did, and he kept those legs churning, stepping over those guys. And wasn't it impressive seeing the blockers downfield with him?
Indeed so. 27-yard pickup for Matt White, and a first down for the Hornets, their first down of the ball game.
Rob, we just got to have a pass completion there, and then we'll get this offense back in gear.
Bryant in Catholic territory for the first time at the 35-yard line. Again, McCoy looking to the sideline for the play call. Everybody lined up. Double wideouts either side. Lone setback is still White. McCoy takes the snap. Looks for a short. Oh, he's going to throw the fade to Wallace. Great catch by Wallace inside the 20-yard line. It was a little behind him, but that's where you like it. The receiver has the option of going for it, and Wallace hauled it in nicely.
On that particular kind of pass play, you want it that way because no one's going to intercept it. The only guy who's going to catch it is yours. I just smelled that completion coming, Rob. It just had to happen.
There's your completion, a 17-yard pickup, and it's 1st and 10 at the 18. The Hornets knocking on the door here. 4:08 left in the first quarter. We have no score, but Bryant is threatening. Luke Brown has come back in in the backfield. McCoy working at shotgun now. And he gives it to
He's got a
hole on the right side inside the 15, down close to the 10-yard line before he's driven back. A pickup of maybe 7 yards there. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 11, but they sealed that corner really nicely.
They sealed it, but man, are you talking about on Bryant's side of it? They sealed the corner off for him to be able to make it. I didn't know if you meant the Catholic responded to it. Well, what a great game that they made there. You just want to be able to punch the ball in down the end zone, don't you?
Indeed so. Hornets again spread out. This time they've got 3 wideouts to the left. Matt Brown, the lone wideout to the right. They option it. Luke Brown gets to the corner, breaks a tackle, gets first down yardage down close to the 5-yard line. See where they mark him out. At about the 6, it'll be a 1st and goal as Brown muscled his way for the last couple of yards there.
Yeah, the nose guard, Joseph White for Catholic, tried to put an arm tackle on him, and you're just not going to bring him down with your arm. He's going to keep those legs going. And I tell you, he's showing a lot of speed tonight, isn't he?
Luke was the leading ball carrier last week for the Hornets. Didn't play running back a lot. He's starting linebacker, but he had 11 carries for 46 yards as the Hornets rushed for 118 altogether.
Of course, they went with a 2-back set several times last week. We hadn't seen that this time. We've just seen 1.
Again, double wideouts to the right, slot in the right side, and it gives to Luke Brown again, and he's down inside the 3 to the 2, coming around the left side that time. Nice blocking over there by Hudman and Workman, and it's a 2nd and goal at the 2.
Here comes the beef to be able to punch this ball on in there. This is a good opportunity to remind folks that Brandon Nichols tonight is not going to play. He's not even dressed out for the game, has sprained ankle during the week, or we'd see him at running back on some of these plays.
They do bring in the beef. Michael McClellan comes in from the defense. He's playing one tight end, Patrick Defoe at the other. We've got Aaron Mears running at one of the halfbacks. He lead blocks, and
he got
right off his block, Luke Brown goes in for the touchdown.
And I tell you, Luke needed it, didn't he? I mean, he brought him down here with those great runs, and so it's wonderful that he's able to make that score tonight, get that first one on the board.
Hornets get on the board with 2:37 left in the first quarter. A nice drive there, keyed by that big 27-yard run by Matt White to get it started. They went 68 yards on that drive.
68 yards, 7-play drive. Luke was able to score on that 2-yard punch in the end zone.
Nick Harbert in to do the extra point. His kick is up, and it is good. So, with 2:37 left in the first quarter, our score, the Bryant Hornets 7, the Catholic Rockets nothing.
Breaking our action gives us a chance to remind you folks of the great people who are bringing you these broadcasts. It's by their generosity that we're able to let you get to enjoy the athletic competition that comes out of Bryant High School. By Rick Lafferty and Dinah McEwen of Liberty Real Estate. By Pepsi. By the Bryant Times, your hometown newspaper. By the Learning Center. By Karen Crowson of Phillips Malley Duke Real Estate. And once again, remind you, if you'd like to be a sponsor for Hornet Athletics, please call Coach Tom Farmer at 847-5601. Rob, quickly before the kickoff here, just to ask your thoughts on this. What do you
gets to the 15, tries to turn the corner. There he's met by Josh Farmer at about the 20, and now we got a flag coming in late as we may have had a face mask penalty. White got up to about the 23-yard line.
That's the only thing that could have been, Rob, where he threw the flag, but surely it was an inadvertent type.
It is a face mask penalty. 13-yard return for White on that play on the kickoff there. And we'll have the penalty marked off. It's a 5-yard variety, so Catholic will have their best field position of the night, the 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Best starting time. They've been inside their 20 the first 2 times they touched football. Can you believe it, Rob? Compared to last week, this is almost unreal because their teams have been able to touch the ball so many times.
Again, the quarterback is Neil Lineberry, a senior, and he's got Jeff Mickle. White behind him. Handoff is to White. He gets to the 30, and they struggle there. And he may have gotten to the 31 or 32-yard line.
Isn't that what some folks love in football? 3 yards and a pile of dust.
That's it.
No dust tonight, though.
No.
This is almost good hitting weather. I hope next week we get down in the 60s at game time and just can really bust some folks.
A 4-yard pickup for Chris White, the junior halfback. He's one of only 3 juniors on this starting offensive unit here for Catholic, so it's an experienced group. Lineberry, a senior quarterback, gives to White once again.
Nowhere to go.
Met right at the line of scrimmage. Patrick Defoe was there, along with Andy Summers in the ball game. Jake Newell.
Chris White was in there.
McClellan. So nice job there.
Absolutely. Now they're back in that 3rd and long situation. Defense playing tough so far tonight, Rob.
It is indeed, and that one was they actually lost a yard on that, so it's going to be 3rd and 7 at the 31-yard line. Again, a 3rd and long situation. Brantley split out wide left. Hornets jump offsides, and that's going to make it a 3rd and short.
You know, a lot of people watching the ball game are saying, well, they didn't touch anybody. Well, in high school football, you don't have to. You cross that zone, that's it.
Yep. Bring up a 3rd and 2. They mark it out at 36.
Now, that completely changes the play call, Ron, because Catholic probably was looking at a pass play. Now they have the option. They can think about trying to run, and, of course, if I was them, I'd want to be running behind the beef on their left side.
Some big guys over there. Tolliver at 295 and Elzer at 261. Of course, when they get the tight end over there, Ryan Rutherford, he's at 234.
Of course, tight end comes to this side, shows you how good my predictions are.
Well, that doesn't necessarily preclude their running to
That's right.
There they are, to that side, and it's an option keeper for Lineberry, and he's got the first down up across the 40 and close to the 43-yard line.
You called it well, Rob. It doesn't always mean they're going to come to that side. Of course, with that much beef, you probably don't need the extra guy, you know?
Well, sometimes that short side option play catches the defense a little short-handed over there, too, and that time they did. And a 7-yard pickup for the quarterback and a first down at the Catholic 43. This is as far out as they've been.
Well, Catholic so far, though, has always made a couple of first down or one first down a drive. They've been able to punch the ball, but then they stall about this time so far tonight.
Line barrier calls the signals, gives to Jeff Mickle, and he's
Nowhere to
met
go.
by Andy Summers, showing some quickness to the sophomore there, along with Aaron Mears to make the tackle, and it's a no gain.
It's always great to see sophomores get in on those plays, isn't it?
Nice job there of getting some penetration there. It's nice to see Andy's big brother Scott get some playing time in the Razorback game against SMU last week.
Well, I didn't get to see that game. I was out of town. I didn't even get to listen to it. I was down for that Battle of the Ravine, OBU and Henderson.
Oh, yeah. Scott got in late.
We got an end of a quarter.
It is the end of the quarter. And with the second quarter about to begin, our score is Bryant 7, Little Rock Catholic nothing.
Sometimes tension in a relationship is good, especially if it's the new tension set mounting developed exclusively in Arkansas by Croft Custom Jewelers. For all your gift ideas and special occasions, come by Croft Custom Jewelers and experience jewelry with passion. Croft Custom Jewelers is a great selection of platinum, 18-karat gold, diamonds, 14-karat slide bracelets, and other fine jewelry at affordable prices. Croft Custom Jewelers, jewelry with passion.
Balloonatics in Benton is the largest balloon and gift store in Arkansas. You'll find more than 700 different balloons for all occasions, but that's only the start. Balloonatics also has candy bouquets, custom-made gift baskets, hundreds of soft, cuddly stuffed animals, a big selection of over-the-hill gag gifts and party supplies. Balloonatics is your Thai Beanie Babies official club headquarters. We do custom decorating for any event, and we deliver from Glen Rose to Little Rock. So what are you waiting for? Join the fun with Pat Gibson and her friendly, courteous staff at Balloonatics.
Location, location, location. These are three of the most important words in real estate, and Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden is one of the most experienced real estate agencies in Saline County. Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden is part of a nationwide network of real estate firms that have combined resources to give you the advantage of our local expertise, plus the benefit of our nationally recognized and respected name. So remember, when it comes to real estate, come to Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden.
Johnston's Maytag Benton Silvac has a new location, now at 1423 Military Road next to the new post office in Benton. But we've still got the best appliances, parts, and service you've known for over 20 years. We sell, repair, and service all makes and models. Check out our gas grill selection, sewing machines, televisions, vacuum cleaners, and much, much more.
If we don't have it, you probably don't need it.
Now at 1423 Military next to the new post office in Benton.
At Benton and Bryant Karate for Kids Family Center, it's back to fun. Karate is great for kids. Build self-esteem and confidence. Learn self-defense and more at Karate for Kids.
BTS.
Want to do this? We'll show you how. Get started today with our back-to-school special, just $19.95.
BTS. It's back to school.
Benton and Bryant's Karate for Kids.
And once again, be sure if you're interested in sponsoring Hornet Athletics, and we're going to do a lot more than football this year, please give Coach Tom Farmer a call at 847-5601. And it's great to be with Falcon TV this time and Falcon Radio.
Indeed.
And it's a new wrinkle for the athletic competition here. Now, Ron, I want to tell you, watching the first quarter tonight, defense has been on the field a very long time. They've been able to stop the drives. But if they continue to have this kind of consumption, it'll be interesting to see what fatigue sets in the second half.
We're just about underway here in the second quarter. Bryant with a 7-0 lead. That's Jim Lagrone. I'm Rob Patrick. Brent Jackson on stats. We're pleased to be bringing you this ball game on Falcon Cable. Neil Linebarrier is the quarterback for Little Rock Catholic. He fakes a handoff, looks to throw. He's got a man open on the right side. Nice
What a
job.
great play.
Nick Black came over from the safety position and knocked it away before Russell Brantley could haul it in at about the Bryant 45. A big play there, averted by Nick Black.
Oh, great play, and you know, we have the advantage of being so high tonight in Warmore Stadium in their press box. You could just see them coming across the field. It was an act of beauty. Have those first quarter stats for you. The Bryant offense gained 67 yards. Catholics gained 28 yards, and so that makes the score just about right, 7-0. And once again, now we have a big third down play coming again. This is about the time they've stalled out before. They'll make that first down, and then the Hornets are able to stop them for a third and long. I don't think they've made a third down play yet tonight, have they, Ron?
Brantley is...
Except for that one run play they did on 3rd and 2 after the
rollout pass, and it's incomplete. Linebarrier drilled it in there, and Bomer had his hands on it, but he was drilled. Nice job of Bobby Wynn on the coverage there, and the ball falls incomplete, and it's going to bring up another punting situation.
Bobby Wynn was not, if he caught the ball, he was not going anywhere, was he?
He would have been short of the first down at that, I believe.
I corrected myself a minute ago. They did make a 3rd and 2 after that penalty aided him.
Yeah, that's right. Merritt will come in to punt. He's inside his own 30-yard line. Now, again, the Hornets all up the line of scrimmage except for Matt Brown's the sole setback. And they almost got to this one as Josh Bombeck got close. Brown catches it about the 19, comes up the near sideline, gets that back out to the 25. Almost a late hit there.
I think it was a late hit. He hit him out of bounds.
I think he had been. The only thing that may have saved him there was that he was falling as he got there.
Well, he was falling, but man, you had a guy 3 yards out of bounds. Oh well, I guess we can't complain, can we? Brent will complain for us. Hey, there we go. Thank you, Brent.
Well, a nice 6-yard return.
Hey, we've got a new feature. We have the angry fan right here. We got a new feature coming.
Well, my. 1st and 10 for the Hornets at their own 25. They got a 7-0 lead over the Catholic Rockets as we're just underway in the second quarter. I have to ask Brent about Jonathan, how he's doing.
Yeah,
expect him back in a couple of weeks, Brent?
Jonathan, who plays on team, has an unknown illness at this time.
Jonathan Jackson. Matt White up the middle, got through the first line of
what a move!
Right to the outside. He's across midfield. 40, 30. Good block by Michael Wallace, and he's going to go all the way. Matt White with a 75-yard touchdown run, and the Hornets strike like lightning.
I tell you what a play, wasn't it? He made a cutback that was just an act of beauty.
A couple.
He did, but one particular one about at the 50, he was able to cut back against the grain. And Wallace was down there, and he was careful not to clip because it was so close. I thought he was going to, but he kept himself. He did a screen, and Brown played it well.
That knocked him into the end zone for the touchdown. Nice job there. We're blocking for the Hornets, and a beautiful run by Matt White, the sophomore. Nick Harbert's in to do the extra point now. Josh Farmer with a hold, and the kick is up, and it is good. No. They're saying it went off.
He hooked it a little bit to the left.
Off to the left side. Started to raise their arms, but no, off to the left. So the first time Nick's missed this year. He's got that strong leg, but just hooked it a little, and the Hornets lead now is 13-0 with 11:24 left of first quarter, in the first half.
Rob, you know, I was listening to that other radio station today that had that sports talk show.
Oh, yeah?
I could not believe how many people were talking about all these 1 or 2 play drives that the Razorbacks had, you know, and they were talking about offensive continuity and all that. And they were complaining about it. Well, listen, man, I'm not complaining about it. It was a beautiful 75-yard run.
Points is points.
That's right, and the Hornets need all they can. 13-0 so far, and what a great night. By the way, it was quite obvious over there that we had the home crowd tonight. We have great support from the Hornets fans. They want to come out and see what this team does. And when they beat Conway, they got to come watch.
That's indeed. The fever is catching on. Here's Josh Alt's kickoff. End over end. Going to come down at about the 4-yard line. This is Perninsky across the 10, 15, the 20, and that's where he's going to come down. Jesse Jones was there. You can see who was underneath all that. Prim and may have been, try to check that number. Stephen Roberts got a hand in there, the senior.
Tell you, Rob, we don't talk about the kicking game a whole lot, although it's one of those aspects that's real important. But a deep kickoff really sets this kind of play up. And if you're able to make the tackle down there, you're giving that other team a long way to go. By the way, Matt White's already over 100 yards tonight.
Well, he went a long way towards
three carries.
75-yard touchdown run. Here's a handoff
what
to
a
White,
tackle.
and Bobby Wynn comes up strong along with Jones to make the tackle for a loss back to the 18-yard line. White knocked down for a loss of 3. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 13 as the Hornets' aggressive defense comes up with a big play.
Got an injury for Catholic.
That may be Chris White, the running back.
We saw
he kind of got twirled there a little bit, might have twisted an ankle.
We saw an injury last week. Of course, Conway starting quarterback on the 3rd play of the game. And I tell you hate to see that. You want to see great competition, and nobody on either team wants to see another player injured.
Certainly not, and we wish the best to Mr. Ramsey, the quarterback, senior quarterback. Finally got the starting job in his first game out. Third play, he tears an ACL.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know he did.
Yeah,
he
did
was
an ACL, and it's a shame. Finally got to the starting position, and he's going to miss most of the season, if not all of it.
Well, this is good. He's able to get back up. Looks like he's going to shake this off.
Yeah. Chris White gets up, and he's coming off the field. Looks like he's going to walk that out, and he'll be back later, I imagine.
Chris White was
and that's good. Great round of applause by the fans tonight. Love to see effort.
It's going to be a 2nd and 13 at the 18-yard line for the Rockets, who have been bottled up on their own end most of the night. The Hornets have done a great job of field position football tonight.
I'll tell you, one of the keys we thought before this game started, the Hornets were going to have to clog up the middle, and so far they've been very successful to do that.
Chris Prime has come in to replace White. He gets the handoff on a sweep, breaks one tackle, but then he's brought down at the line of scrimmage, maybe lost for a yard. Coming up to play it was the linebacker, Philip Prim.
Philip Prim followed off that block. He just pushed that guy out of the way and made sure he was going to be in on that tackle. That's desire, Rob. It's desire. Good technique, but you got to want to be able to fly to football to do it.
They did fly to that football, and it was a loss of 1 for Prime on his first carry.
Hornets have a little bit more sting in their defense right now. They smell blood, I believe. That last touchdown excited them.
3rd and 14 at the 17. This has been the story for Catholic tonight. The Hornet defense stepping up here. Line barrier has to call a timeout now as the play clock had wound down, and they were just getting to the line of scrimmage. So with 10:07 left to play in the first half, Bryant leading 13-0. We got this timeout.
Rob, this break in the second quarter gives a chance to remind folks to please stay tuned at halftime. We have a program for you tonight. I know you're excited. Just try to sit on the edge of your chair. Sit up. I mean, don't go. You can't go get a Coke or anything. You got to go ahead of time after the Hornets scored that touchdown. Because I know all of you are saying, what do our political people have to say to us? Isn't that right, Rob? Isn't that what you're saying?
I was just thinking that. Which political people is that?
No, we're talking about our school board race.
Oh, okay,
We're having a lot of fun, and folks, we're going to be able to interview very briefly all 3 of the gentlemen running. Terry Donovan and David Passmore and Herman Thompson are going to be with us during halftime. They're going to each answer a couple of questions to maybe give you a little bit of insight, and you'll be able to see a little bit about them, and we hope to be able to tape that for you. So please stay tuned at halftime. School board election is an important thing. There's only 5 people on the board. It rotates 1 chair every year, and so it's 20% of the board is going to be decided in just a couple of weeks.
And that election, of course, coming up September 21st. We want to urge all those of you in Bryant School District to get out there and vote, because it is important.
I see some of the guys already showing up early.
Good to see them. Catholic once again with a 3rd and 14 at their own 17. Line barrier straight drop back, looking to try to set up a screen. Gets the pass away to Prime, but there are the Hornets. Aaron Mears with the tackle. Check that. The receiver was Ryan James, but little hiccup on that play. We do have a flag on the on the far side of the field. We'll see what that's all about.
I think the play is going to be against the Catholic, that ineligible receiver downfield. Obviously, the Hornets are going to decline that penalty.
They picked up 8, but it's well short still of the first down. It's going to be a 4th and 6.
You know, that kind of middle screen play lends itself to that penalty. You have to be very careful. Those linemen are anxious to break on out and make those blocks. And he had a little bit of room, but boy, didn't the linebackers close quickly on that.
They did a nice job.
I'd say the Hornets are every bit as fast or faster than Catholic Rocket team is tonight.
Well, it's going to give Alex Merritt some more work. As the Catholic punter drops back. Again, the Hornets will have everybody on the line of scrimmage except Matt Brown. They've come close a couple of times, but no blocks.
How many punts is this so far tonight, Brent, for Catholic? Their fourth punt, they're going to get it? No.
Wynn almost got that one. Brown gets the catch at the 41, heads upfield, and gets some positive yardage back to the 45, and Bryant's 45-yard line it is. That's where the Hornets will take over. Wynn went full out there on the dive, Tom. And
he almost got it, and Matt Brown's going to tell these guys, you got to block that punt. He can't run against 11 people down there, you know.
But he's doing pretty well.
He's doing well. He's making positive yardage, but I'm sure he'd like to see that block punt, too. Hornets get great field position for this possession.
That's been their partner in this 13-0 lead. Good field position, and they've created it with their own drives because they didn't start all their drives in the middle of the field.
That's right. And the defense held them. That's right.
That's right. McCoy, the quarterback, he's gone all the way. He's got double wideouts either side. Looks left, pump fakes, throws down the middle. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of Matt White, who was leveled.
Absolutely.
Had to go up high for that, and that's always dangerous over the middle. Brent Jennings kind of lowered the boom on him. He comes off the field. White is, and he's going to get a breather after that one.
Man, no, Jennings was on the stick on that, wasn't he?
Going to bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 45. The Hornets with 9:24 left of the half, and 13-0 lead over the Rockets.
We saw McCoy do that pump fake twice last week, both times successful.
Usually he goes to the outside with that. They try to hit the receiver on an out and up, but that time he went down the middle. McCoy again drops straight back, looking for the screen. This time he gets it out to Luke Brown. Gets across the 45, breaks a tackle, 45 to 50, the 45 of Catholic, and down to the 40 before 5 Rockets are able to get him out of bounds. But a nice pickup there. Brown with some nifty running after making the catch.
Boy, is he ever tonight. I tell you, he's making the right steps, isn't it?
It's a good pickup. That's going to, and of course, McCoy got grilled after throwing that pass, but got popped right back up. Pickup of 15 yards for the Hornets on that play, and a 1st and 10 at the Catholic 40. And once again, they're in Rocket territory.
McCoy was straightening out the lineup that time. He had to get everybody where he wanted them to be.
Got trips to the left. In the slot is Josh Farmer, or in the near wing position, that is. Jamison in the slot. Wallace wide left. Here's a little hitch pass to Jamison, and he did good to catch that ball. That was kind of an ill-advised throw, as he was well covered on that play by Catholic's Kevin Ware, and Ware almost got to it before Jamison.
And I tell you what, Ware, I was watching that number, watching play develop, and Ware was sitting there waiting on it. And he smelled that play coming, and so very fortunately it wasn't even picked off.
Actually lost 3 yards on that little pattern there, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and 13 at the 43-yard line for the Hornets. They're in Catholic territory, leading 13-0. McCoy with the option. Brown. This one's hemmed in pretty well, defensed pretty well. James came up and made the first hit, and Brown was only able to get maybe a yard.
Brown, the ball carrier.
Well defense that time. The Hornet blockers were already downfield, but they were able to swarm and gain tackling. Big 3rd down play on this drive. Of course, I tell you, from what we saw last week from the Hornets, it wouldn't surprise me if this is 4-down territory.
It's 3rd and 12 at the 42. It's a long 12, closer actually to the 43 than the 42. McCoy with double wide outs either side. Looks left, throws the fade, but we got a whistle before the play.
Matt Brown, I believe, was a little excited about taking off.
He was the intended receiver, and he jumped, so it's going to be back with 5 yards.
He was trying to get that first step in to get around his defensive player, and just got a little too anxious.
It's interesting, Catholic's playing up tight on the wide receivers.
That's right.
And with a couple of safeties deep. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 17 at the 47. Call it the 48.
By the way, Little Rock Catholic hadn't been whistled for a penalty yet tonight. Bryant's already had 5.
Rockets with some execution there. Brown again wide left, along with Josh Farmer on the right side.
Hornets went in a huddle that time also.
They did. Wallace and Jamison split wide to the right, the short side of the field. Luke Brown's lone setback as McCoy calls the play at the line of scrimmage. They can throw the fade to Brown. He adjusts to it and makes a nice catch, and it's going to get a 1st down as he breaks the tackle. And he sidesteps another, rolls over another tackler, and gets down close to the 10-yard line. Matt Brown. What a play. Basket catch on that, and then he avoided 2 tacklers. Mercy, nice play.
A 37-yard play. What a run after he caught the football. And I tell you, he was not going to be denied. And if he hadn't tripped over that one last tackler there, he'd have scored.
Call it 36. They're outside the 10 at the 11. They can still get a 1st and 10. 36-yard play, and Matt Brown did a lot of that on his own. Nice catch.
When you make a 3rd down in about forever, you're playing well.
You got to feel good about it. There's a handoff to Luke Brown. He's got some running room on the right side. Gets inside the 5, down close to the 2-yard line. Luke making some things happen, so it's Brown and Brown here.
It's almost get confusing on them.
Well, we got brown, white, and black.
Now, let's not go through that again, Rob. We did that last week. Okay.
Catholic's got their white.
2nd down and 3.
It's a colorful game.
Colorful names.
Give him 8 yards to the 3-yard line. It's going to be a 2nd and 2 at the 3.
Which Brown's going to score this touchdown?
Well, it's more likely Luke than Matt, but you never know.
You never know. We saw a little quarterback draw, maybe.
Yeah, could be a McCoy. Matt's wide left, and he looks that way. And it's a slant, and he's got the touchdown. He set it up, so why not give him the TD? Nice little slant pattern. He got inside the defender, and McCoy drilled it in there for a touchdown for Bryant.
And I believe that's the first pass touchdown this year, isn't it? Or did they have one last week? Didn't he have just one last week?
I think they had one last week.
Okay.
Matt Brown caught one from McCoy. That was the only one.
Hornets are going to call timeout, I believe, discuss whether or not they want to go for two and try to get this score back up where it would have been had they not missed that extra point.
We got 6:34 left in the half. The Hornets have a 19-0 lead. They might want to make it 21 rather than 20 and go for two. And they are talking about it.
Hornets will look sharp. I tell you, Rob, tonight, after those first series kind of settled into the flow of the game, every bit is quick, and I think they have just a tad more team speed than what we're seeing out of Catholic.
Well,
Catholic coach, by the way, before game time tonight, was talking about how excited he was that they just now kind of turned their program back because they have a lot more players coming out again, and he's pretty optimistic about the future for them.
They instituted an off-season weight training program for the first time, too, this year.
That drive, by the way, the scoring drive was 7 plays, 55 yards, culminated in that 3-yard pass from McCoy to Matt Brown. Beautiful slant pattern, too, that we can see very easily up here.
Brown and McCoy teamed up on the 36-yard completion that really set that touchdown up, converted a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 17 play. And the Hornets will go for two. They've got double wideouts either side again. Wallace and Jamison to the near side. Over on the far side, it's, I believe that's, yes, Farmer and Brown. They pitch it, though, to Matt White. He comes around the right side, and he's brought down. Tackle on the wide side by Ben Cowell, the defensive end. And we're going to have no two-point conversion. And the score will remain Bryant 19, Catholic nothing. We got a Catholic player down there, slow to get up. It's William Elser, but he's up and coming off the field now. Okay, that's good to see.
Bravo Ben Cowell on that play, didn't he?
Yeah.
Had a great open field tackle. I think he would have been able to squeak in for that two-pointer had he not. Brent just gave me a great stat tonight. Kind of tells you about the ball game. Bryant's had 4 possessions with 3 TDs. Catholics had 4 possessions with 4 punts. They're fixing to touch the ball for the 5th time. By the way, this has been a turnover-free game, except for the Hornets' 5 penalties. It's been a pretty fast-moving. Not anything like we saw last week. Seemed like we had penalties every other play.
Yeah, long game last week. 6:34 left in the first half, right, with a 19-0 lead. Rob Patrick, Jim Legrone, Brent Jackson along with you here on Falcon Cable. Here's Josh Alt's kickoff.
That's a great kick, isn't it, Rob? And back it by the 5-yard line.
Chris White back into the game to return it. He gets across the 20, and then they close in on him nicely. Nick Black, and also in on that play for the Hornets was Jason Rose. Nice to see that sophomore getting some action there.
Coach Patton was talking earlier this week how that the kicking game last year was a little suspect, but this year he thinks one of the strongest things they have.
19-yard return to the 24, and once again the Rockets have a long way to go. Their field position has really been Bryant's ally tonight.
And after the first series, Rob, you said it well before, you determine your own field position, whether you punch it out or whether you keep the other team down there.
Line barrier again, the quarterback. No, we've got a change here.
Scott Gallagher,
That's Scott Gallagher, the senior, has come in. He hands off to Mickle, and he gets across the 25 out close to the 28-yard line.
Mickle made a nifty move there to get just past the scrimmage line, pick up those 3 or 4 yards.
A 4-yard gain for Jeff Mickle, and it's going to be 2nd and 6 at the 28. Gallagher is a 5'8", 152-pound senior, a little smaller than line barrier. He's going to get his shot at it here as the Rockets kind of struggled in the last few possessions.
But they just trying to get a different look and all of that.
He looks quicker. Maybe gives him a little more running threat at quarterback. Hand off inside again to Mickle, and he breaks some tackles and is going to get a first down. Rockets, I think, just maybe their 2nd or 3rd first down of the ball game as he gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
But this is that area of the field, Rob, they're approaching where they've kind of broken down on their drives.
36-yard line is where we're at. An 8-yard pickup for Mickle as he takes 2 runs in a row at it. Rockets trail it 19-0. The Hornets have looked very good tonight. 5:30 left to play in the first half. Gallagher looks to throw his first pass, and he's got a completion to Brantley. And there now we've got a flag
Got to be a
coming
face
in there.
mask, Rob. There couldn't be anything else.
He gets across the 45 out close to the 48-yard line before he's brought out of bounds by Jones with help there from Stephen Roberts. And we do have a face mask penalty on top of that.
Those little quick pops there are just so hard to defend. You run your defender back about 5 or 6, 7 yards, and then you just turn around and the ball's there. It's almost an unstoppable play. Almost.
12-yard pass play added to the 5-yard penalty. And puts the ball in Bryant territory for the first time for Catholic, and it's a 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line for Catholic, and now they're going to get some more as the Hornets jump offside.
Now, Rob, they're going to watch the game film, and the coach is going to watch the film. They're going to see that quarterback move his shoulders and move his helmet and just kind of give it a little bump, and he was able to cause that play to happen. I think he calls that penalty by his movement.
You can call a penalty for procedure on that on the quarterback if he's too demonstrative with the move, but Gallagher's keeping it subtle enough that he's not getting that call.
Well, if he does it again, I would think they'd pick up on it.
The option left, Gallagher keeps, breaks a tackle at the 40 and gets inside the 40 to around the 37 before he's piled up and driven back. It's a nifty little run there by the new quarterback for Catholic. Pickup of 5 yards and close to a first down. We'll see if they're going to say it is going to be a 2nd and short, so we'll give him a 4-yard pickup.
Obviously, this is the best field position they had. I think, Rob, they're going to go ahead and measure for this. Coaching staff's wanting to see that on this side of the field.
It's pretty close. I think they're just short of it. We can kind of see the hashes.
Well, the hashes have not been... now, they moved the football.
They're going to where they originally marked it. The outside official marked it, so they're coming all the way across to the far side where he had set up. And it's a first down.
Yeah, it was by the length of the football.
5-yard gain.
First down.
First down, Catholic. 4:47 left in the first half, and the Rockets have their best drive of the game under the leadership of Scott Gallagher, the new quarterback. They're at the Bryant 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Gallagher came in this series and has driven them with the help of a penalty and a completed pass, which I believe may have been the first completed pass for the Rockets tonight.
It is. He's a senior starter, so I know he's excited being there.
Handoff to White, just barely got that. Handoff was juggling it as he got to the line of scrimmage, and he got to the 35 before Philip Prim and Michael McClellan brought him down. They're going to mark it inside the 35, I believe, at the 34.
I think they had a little mix-up on that play because Gallagher was having to reach to be able to get that ball into the running back's arms.
A little change in personnel there. The mesh may not be as smooth. They're just inside the 35. Catholic with a 2nd and 7. 4 minutes left in the first half. They trail 19-0. Handoff to Mickle up the middle, and he's down inside the 30.
Driving on down, chewing up the clock as they go.
Going with a power game here.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
4-yard pickup, and it's a 3rd down and 3 at the 30-yard line. Catholic grinding it out here. They trail 19-0, trying to get their first points on the ball game, and they're in their best field position of the night.
Rob, if they're able to force them to no gain on this particular play, it'd be interesting to see what Catholic would call, whether they go for it on 4th down. Surely they would on this much time left.
Yeah. Gallagher calls the signals, looks to pass, a little hitch pattern, and he's got his man for a first down just in front of Josh Bombeck. And Bombeck trying to contend that he juggled it, but no, they say it's complete to Peter Abero, and a first down for Catholic.
I tell you, he came back to the football and caught it on one hand. It was either a great catch or a great acting job. We'll give him a catch, though.
23-yard line, a 1st and 10 for Catholic as they continue to drive this football under the guidance of Scott Gallagher. And off, Mickle breaks it outside, breaks the tackle, gets inside the 20, then down to the 15, maybe the 14-yard line before he's pulled down. A little confrontation there between Mickle and Jake Newell. Hornets defense kind of looks like they're a little less aggressive on this drive. Maybe relaxing a little bit with a 19-point lead.
With a 19-point lead. And Catholic also has a little more urgency. They don't want this game to get out of hand. You know, if the Hornets had been able to get another touchdown this half, it would really put them behind the 08 ball, as they say.
2nd and 2 at the 15. Catholic Rockets trying to get on the scoreboard. They trail it 19-0, as we were saying, against the Bryant Hornets. Now Gallagher comes up to the line of scrimmage and calls a timeout with 2:58 left to play in the half. Once again, Bryant.
Surely he's stretching out a calf muscle
I
or
think that
something.
may have been what he was doing.
Yeah, surely.
The Rockets are ready to go once again. They have a 2nd and 2 at the Bryant 15, trying to get on the scoreboard. Handoff inside to Mickle. He's got a first down and more inside the 5 and in for a touchdown as Jeff Mickle never brought down, just shrugged off the Bryant tacklers. And a 15-yard touchdown run for Jeff Mickle gets Catholic on the board with 2:53 left in the first half. We've got a ball game.
And we surely do. And, of course, the Hornet coaches are going to talk about that. So they're going to say, this is why we mean you stick somebody with that shoulder pad and you wrap them up and you put them on the ground.
And you don't lose your intensity.
That's right.
On to kick the extra point is Mark Eversman. Sidewinder. Gallagher holds. Snap is good. Eversman's kick is also good, and our score with 2:53 left in the first half. Bryant Hornets 19, the Catholic Rockets 7.
Always fortunate to remind you folks the people who bring us our broadcast. We're sponsored tonight by Karen Croson of Phil Smalley Duke Real Estate, by the Learning Center, by the Bryant Times, your hometown newspaper, by Pepsi, and by Rick Lafferty and Donnie McEwen of Liberty Real Estate. That drive, Rob, covered 76 yards in 9 plays. Mickles picked up 47 yards on that drive. And of course, Gallagher was 2 out of 2. We saw the relief quarterback come in last week. Boy, I tell you, we're referring to last week's game probably too much, I think. But we saw that relief guy come in. That's the only game we got so far this year. And he had a great opening drive. And then he kind of struggled the rest of the game. Gallagher started out with a tremendous drive. And, you know, the future remains to be seen on how it's going to go the rest of the game. But he's going to have halftime, see, to kind of make sure he's into this and regroup. And we're liable to have a very exciting second half.
Of course, the Hornets will have that time to adjust as well. They're already talking about it over there on the far sideline.
But I hate to mention this, but I need to, Rob, okay?
All right.
Points are important. That 1 point is important.
Eversman with the kickoff. He goes to the far side. Josh Farmer has it about the 11. Brings it up over the 20. Gets some blocking over the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And he's got an export. He may go all the way. Left hand got him from behind. He had a blocker, Jonathan Jameson, with him. Jameson was looking ahead, not behind, and from behind to make the tackle was Ryan James, saving a touchdown as Josh Farmer on the return. Getting all the way down to the Bryant, to the Catholic 22-yard line.
68-yard return. And Jameson, as you were saying, he was not looking behind him to that block, to that tackler. He was looking to the right, the one coming up, make sure he's trying to get the angle. What a great run. Now, boy, isn't this exactly what the Hornets wanted?
Turn that momentum back around.
Turn it right back around.
And like you were saying, Jim, on that beautiful blocking up the middle, he cut it back.
Boy, it was.
There was only one guy who really had to juke and did a nice job of that. And then broke it to the outside, and just a touchdown-saving tackle. But the Hornets are in business here, deep in Catholic territory at the 22-yard line.
Wall really set up beautiful.
Luke Brown, the lone setback, double wideouts either side. Derek McCoy again is the quarterback. Hornets with plenty of time, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the half. That's Jameson down the middle. It's caught. The pass inside the 5-yard line. McCoy with a strike to Jonathan Jameson's on the slant pass. Nice catch and run by Jameson after the reception there.
You know, I thought Coach would have probably tried to run a couple of plays, take some time off this clock. But, man, he smells blood in the end zone again, doesn't he?
Strike quick, and it's a 19-yard pickup. First and goal now at the 3-yard line for the Hornets. And right after the Catholic Rockets got on the board, took a long drive, Bryant right back at him with a long kickoff return and a strike on the pass play. And now they've got the beef in there. Aaron Mears in at one of the halfbacks and the two big defenders on the tight end. Handoff to Matt White on the right side. And he gets maybe a yard. Kind of went away from those blockers that time. Tried to cross up the Rockets, and he gets a yard to the 2.
Jonathan Corey on the tackle.
The two-time Governor's Cup bands lining up for their halftime show. We always want to give credit to all the students, of course, cheerleaders and drill team, as well as that award-winning high school band.
As fine a high school band as you will find.
In Arkansas, for sure, and in several places around the country, I promise you.
McCoy looking to the sideline for the call. Again, the beef this time to the right. They throw the fade route, though, and it's just knocked away. I believe it may be. Matt Brown, the intended receiver, and Jeff Truninski was trying to cover him and was really not expecting the ball and just did a shield there. And
oh, he did. He saw Brown go ahead and start his leap. He knew the ball was coming, but he didn't turn around, and that's the proper call. You have to call it. The defensive player in that particular situation has to at least look back for the football, and if he'll do that, then it's not interference.
Well, it's going to give only a yard worth of penalty to that, but it does make it a first down. First and goal at the 1-yard line now.
Now, I would expect them to try to just punch this ball in here.
Well, they've got 4 plays to do it.
That's right, and take up the rest of the clock, 1:33 left, and just let the time run out as you fall in the end zone.
They're using up the 25-second clock, but the game clock is stopped at 1:33, so it really doesn't matter there. Wallace split out to the right along with Jamison, and he looks to throw again, and he's got the slant trying to get it to Wallace just off his fingertips, and it's going to be an incompletion there as he tried to get Wallace his first touchdown.
Well, that's 2 predictions I've missed tonight. I figured they'd take the clock out, but that's why I'm sitting up here and I'm not down on the sideline.
I think they're actually kind of trying to spread the wealth around there.
They are. They're trying to involve everyone, and McCoy's passes have all been on the mark tonight, and the ones that have been missed have hit in the hands or just a little bit behind them, and they've been in the neighborhood.
Yeah, Michael Wallace, a senior, that I don't think he scored a varsity touchdown yet. They're looking to get it to him. It's going to bring a 2nd and goal. Now we got a flag.
Yeah, somebody lined up wrong or something here.
Offsides. And it's against Bryant, so that's going to make it a little more difficult. And mark it back 5 yards.
Players are wondering what in the world happened. Someone came set in their position and apparently was too close to that neutral zone. That's a rare call these days on offense.
Indeed.
Instead of procedure.
It's going to be a 2nd and goal at the 6.
Hornets have 8 penalties so far tonight.
That's more than they had all game long last week.
And these are costly down on this end of the field.
2nd and goal at the 6. White now in motion. He joins Wallace and Jamison on the right side. They throw to White. A nice catch. The ball, I believe, was tipped, but he gets in for the touchdown, and Bryant gets the touchdown despite the penalty. Nice catch and run by Matt White, and a beautiful pass, really.
Oh, it was.
Thread in the needle there. Derek McCoy on the pass.
It's always nice to be able to overcome a penalty. It builds character for your team later on. And in those conference games that we got coming up, that's going to let them know that they just don't get yourself down. You can overcome those kind of penalties. First time we've seen the Hornets in motion tonight.
And White made the catch for the touchdown. Now Nick Harbert will kick the extra point.
And it'll be good.
No thoughts about going for 2 this time. Harbert knocks it through. So with 1:24 left in the first half, our score, the Bryant Hornets 26, the Catholic Rockets 7.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by these fine folks who believe it's important to support the athletic and student body of Bryant High School. Rick Lafferty and Dinah McEwen of Liberty Real Estate, by Pepsi, by the Bryant Times, your hometown newspaper, by the Learning Center, and by Karen Carlson of Phillips Mounty Duke Real Estate. You be sure to call Coach Tom Farmer at 847-5601 if you'd like to join this list of fine sponsors that we have. That was a 22-yard play, or 22-yard drive, by the way, Rob, in 4 plays. 6-yard pass to Matt White, and McCoy gets another touchdown pass tonight. But I think it's impressive to overcome the penalty, but we have to admit that kickoff return set that one up.
Nice kickoff return for Josh Farmer and some beautiful blocking. Farmer made some nice moves, and it was a big play coming right on the heels of the Catholic Rockets' first touchdown.
Do you think anybody knows that boy is Coach Tom Farmer's son, or should we talk about that on the air?
Well, might as well be brought
Wasn't
up.
he that guy standing up over there yelling when that was going on?
I bet he was. Josh Alt's kickoff comes deep, and it'll be a touchback. The Hornets' first touchback of the year, and Alt kicked it right down on the goal line. Nice job by Josh Alt. That's the second time he's gotten it deep tonight, and again, Catholic starts on deep in their own end.
Deep on their end of the field. And I was reading comments in the newspaper this morning. Coach Broyles used to talk about the way Little would kick the ball. If you might have seen the same article, that all they do when they got the coin toss, they take the win, let Little kick it out of the end zone, and start that team on the 20.
80 yards away.
It's just a wonderful weapon, and the Hornets are fortunate to have that this year.
There have been years when the Hornets have struggled to find kickers. They are truly blessed to have 2 of the best that Bryant's had in Josh Alt and Nick Harbert. Fine job by both guys.
Catholic seems to be a little concerned. They're going to have to call a timeout. They don't have time left to call a play. A little confused. Coach is saying, what in the world is wrong? I sent you to play in, and somewhere it broke down in communication. Rob, man, high school sports is just fun, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Come out to War Memorial. Got a great crowd tonight. I would estimate, they told us, 1,500 a section, so we're looking at maybe 3,000 folks total over there. And
it's a good crowd.
All right, and maybe 2,000 Hornet fans are out here setting us up for next week. Where do we play next week, Rob?
Next week we play at home. The Malvern Leopards come to Bryant for the first home game of 1999. Leopards, of course, are playing Benton tonight in their traditional rivalry.
The South Bryant team, right?
That's right. And the Pumpkinheads will come to Bryant, and we'll see how that develops.
Well, that's right. And Malvern played a pretty tough ball game last week, playing up in northwest Arkansas. How in the world did they ever sign on Springdale?
Well, Springdale's got to play somebody, and I think they just it's Russian roulette when you put Springdale on your.
I mean, it's a long drive up in the hills.
Yeah. But it was probably a good experience for them. For Springdale, that is. Here comes Catholic. They're going deep with a long pass and incomplete. They tried to get Chris Prime to run under a fade pattern, but the Hornets had it well covered. Good job by Josh Bombeck coming over from the safety spot. Nick Black and Jesse Jones was there as well. So really
great defense. Ran to the ball. There was no way they're going to call that play interference. He was the only one that was going to be able to catch it that time. So well defense. Minute 19 left. I expect Catholic now they might throw one more pass, but I think they're going to want to run out the clock. They got just too far to go. They don't want this game. They surely don't want to turn it over on this end of the field of the Hornets.
It was last year an exciting ball game between Bryant and
Malvern. What did ever?
37-21. They do run it up the middle. Catholic they give it up the middle to the fullback Nickel, who was the main ball carrier in that touchdown drive. He gets 3 yards, and the Hornets will take a timeout in hopes of getting a chance at blocking a punt or getting a.
I believe that's the first timeout the Hornets have used tonight, isn't it, right?
I believe so.
And so they'll be able to take a next one after next play if they don't get a first down, and maybe set up. Who knows? Block another punt. You got a minute to go. I think McCoy and company have proved that they can strike kind of quickly.
Yes, indeed.
So, man, take a shot. Roll the dice. By the way, Catholic and Bryant had an exciting ball game last year.
Certainly did.
So they put almost 70 points between them on the board.
49-28 was the final.
Well, they did make 70.
77, in fact. And a lot of that, a big second quarter when Bryant scored 28 points in a quarter there.
Well, it was really something. I remember watching
Tad Farmer
throwing the ball everywhere. People running underneath it. Catholic moving down the field. It was a great game.
Well, we got a 1:10 left in the half. Catholic facing a 3rd and 7 at their own 23. See what they do here. Bryant had used a timeout, try to get the ball back. They tried to run that wing back reverse, and it was something that Conway had some success with last week. But this time, Andy Summers was there to nail the wing back coming around. I believe that was James trying to make that run, and he has dropped for a loss back to the 22.
There was nowhere for him to go, Rob. The Hornets smelled that one out. Of course, this kind of a time of the game, you're looking for something a little different. First time they'd run that, as you'd mentioned tonight.
Again,
do you think the Hornets are going to go after this punt?
The Hornets used a timeout. They've got a minute 4, and they've got Merritt back inside his 10 to do the punting. They've got everybody up on the line of scrimmage in hopes of blocking it. Matt Brown, the lone setback. Snap is good. Man, Bobby Wynn almost got it again. Brown fields it at the 46, gets into some trouble and goes backwards, and he's brought down inside, close to the 40, inside the 45, and they're going to mark him trying to get around the corner there, and he's pulled down at the 41 of Bryant, so that's where the Hornets will have it. He was actually fielded that ball around the 46, but went backwards.
Yeah, but you do that when you try to go. He was trying to get around the end. If he'd been successful, he'd run a long way.
Just 53 seconds left, but that's enough time with the timeout and some good pass receivers, a good passer. They're on their own 41.
We'll see that fade once or twice.
We got Jeremy Wooten in the ball game for the first time. He throws a little screen pass, and nailed on that play is Matt White. Good coverage there by the Rockets. Jeremy Wooten into the game for the first time, and got his completion, but it was a
I was going to say, that's the best thing about that pass is it was a completion.
Loss of 4 on the play. 2nd and 14 at the 37-yard line. The Hornets in their own territory. Lone setback is White. Wooten looks, throws out to the outside. He's got a man. Josh Farmer at the 43 gets up close to the 45, close to the 50, and gets out of bounds. But no, they say he wasn't out of bounds.
He tried to get out, but the tackle was made, and he bounced right before there. He was heading to do the right thing. Precious time is going to be gone, Rob.
They're out at the 48-yard line, a pickup of 11. It's going to bring a 3rd and 3 at the 48.
I thought I heard a whistle, Rob, but I don't guess so.
That's where they're going to call it dead. That's the end of the first half. With the score, the Bryant Hornets 26, the Catholic Rockets 7.
Just a few moments, we're going to be visiting with our candidates for the Bryant School Board position.
His name begins with D. Terry Donovan. Great to have you here tonight. And we're glad that you're here. We want to be able to be sure to tell the Bryant folks that we're going to have all the candidates for the Bryant School Board. A very important election, and all of these guys will tell you, as I will too, go and vote, participate in the process. It's great that we have 3 people out. So you be sure to get out and vote and make your voice known regardless of who you vote for. Of course, Terry, I'm going to ask you all the same question. We'll start it off this way. If there was just one thing that you would do to improve the Bryant school system, and what would it be? What capacity would it be?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind is more of a long-term solution is I'd love to see the board, the school board, expanded to at least 9 members. We've had 5 members for years, as long as I can remember. And if we could get 9 members or even more, we could get a lot of the people that are in the outlying areas to have more participation. They'd feel they'd have more input. Now, a lot of the people in the outlying areas that are served by our satellite elementaries really don't feel they have a voice. So if we could expand that, get a lot more decision-making from them, their input, I think that would help an awful lot. And it would probably take some burden off the individual school board members now.
Well, as I can relate to that personally, okay?
Yes.
Because, as you know, it is a great amount of time.
Well,
and I've had a great time working and serving on that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's just so many issues that you're hit with nowadays. And with just 5 members, if we had 9 or more, you could probably set up some nice, effective subcommittees where everyone could do research here and there and help each other out instead of having to research every single issue. And I think that would have a long-term benefit to the school.
Terry, I guess I also need to ask you that a hot topic that everybody in our area is talking about, I know, the block scheduling issue. As you know, it's done in junior and senior high, and it's still a very noticeable subject being talked about in all the coffee shops in Bryant, you might say, and on the phone line sometimes. So some folks even think that you're against the block. What's your position? Why don't you take this opportunity to tell folks exactly what Terry Donovan thinks about the block schedule?
I appreciate it. It's such a hot topic. Last year, I spoke before the board, and I simply said to the board, my statement was, I think block's here to stay. There's some wonderful benefits about block. But I do think there's some modifications. Anytime you make a change, the first copy is not going to be the final one. And I think there's some modifications such as reducing study hall through the high school, offering English and some other core classes throughout the school year for those kids that want it. If they don't, that's fine. But simply, we need to make modifications. I do not want to get rid of the block. The block has got some wonderful attributes. I just think we need to do some tweaking and make some improvements there.
And for the block schedule, for the folks who don't know what the block schedule is, it means you have 4 class periods during a day. It's 8 subjects covered in a year instead of 7. Exactly. And so it's a scheduling thing. And boy, I want to tell you, there's a lot of opinions out there. So I'm glad you were able to clear that up for us, Mr. Donovan.
I appreciate it. Thank you very
good
much.
luck. And I appreciate you trying and running for the office, as all the people need to participate in the great democracy that we have. So we appreciate you being here tonight.
I appreciate it. The 3 of us who run and have a great track record working with kids, and all of us have the same ideal of just going there and trying to get on the board simply to help the kids in Bryant.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Thanks.
We're visiting with candidates for the Bryant School Board. With me tonight is David Passmore. David, I don't know if I shook your hand yet or not. I want to make sure I do.
Good to see you, Jim.
Good to see you here tonight. And David's our second candidate. We've already visited with Terry Donovan. So, David, I tell you, it's just great that you're participating. Remind folks to get out and vote for sure.
That's right.
Got a question for you. I asked the same thing of Mr. Donovan. I'm going to ask the same thing of you.
All right.
If there's one thing you could do to improve the Bryant School District, what would it be? What would it be?
Well, what I'd like to see is for the board, the teachers, and all the parents to work in a more cooperative spirit. Not to say that they're not doing that now, but I think we can expand upon that, and I think that I'm a candidate who can entice the board to look more toward their parents and toward their teaching staff, because this is about our students. And if we as parents and as teaching staff will work together, we can do the best thing for our kids, and that's what this is all about, is improving our kids' education.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sir, I also have another question for you tonight. What kind of experience do you think you can bring to the board? Why should people vote for you?
Well, last year I was the PTO president at one of our local elementary schools over at Salem, and at that point in time I had an opportunity to start working very closely with that administrative staff at that school, as well as those teachers and the parents. And like I alluded to in my first statement, I think that's going to give me some experience into bringing that kind of cooperative spirit into our board and into our system on a much larger level. And that's what we want to do, so that we can enhance the education and really bring out the quality of our students. And I think that our staff and our board are doing that, but the more that we concentrate on that, and the agendas that we should have, is that open-minded spirit that we can bring in and work with each individual school system, our elementaries, our middle school, and our junior and high schools. Because this is what this is all about. It's about our whole district. It's not about any set school. We have to bring everybody into it, and that includes our elementaries all the way through our high schools.
A lot of folks are not aware that Bryant School has several campuses. We have one main campus within the satellite school, so I do understand what you're talking about tonight.
That's right.
David, it's great to see you tonight. I'm sorry we don't have a lot of time, but we just get 2 questions, and glad you're here, and it's a great ball game tonight.
Yeah, it is a great ball game. Everybody needs to come on out and support Bryant.
They'll be out next week.
All right, thank you.
David Passmore running for Bryant School Board. Dave, we're glad that you're here. Our second or third candidate's going to come in, Herman Thompson. Herman, sir, it's good to see you tonight.
See you.
Glad to see you, and I know you're out enjoying this Hornet experience. So, Herman, I always ask I ask the 2 other candidates the same question. If there's one thing to improve the Bryant School District, what do you think it'd be?
First of all, our educational program is first and foremost. Secondly, I like to see our communication level between our teachers, our parents, superintendents, and board members improve. That would be a big boost for our school district.
Well, what else do you think you do? What would you pledge to do if you're elected?
I'd pledge to work to meet the educational needs of all of our students, work with the building programs, long-term building, our building plan, develop long-term our building program to enhance security throughout our district, and work directly with all of our board members and our teachers and our students.
Herman, as you know, has been around Bryant Athletics a long time. I know you're enjoying the game tonight.
Right, I've been around about 10 years with them right now.
And so it's a great time to be able, a great place to be able to watch. I saw all of you guys sitting together a while ago, too.
Yeah, they didn't throw me out. Well, I done real good.
All the candidates I'm talking about were sitting together, enjoying the time together. Herman, it's great to visit with you, sir. Appreciate your few moments that you can give us, and look forward to the election. And I want to remind our folks, you go out and vote on September the 21st and participate in this great democracy that we have. We have the freedom to do so, and we need to do it. Herman, thank you again for being with us.
Thank you, sir.
It's back to school.
At Benton Bryant Karate for Kids Family Center, it's back to fun. Karate is great for kids. Build self-esteem and confidence. Learn self-defense and more at Karate for Kids.
BTS.
Want to do this? We'll show you how. Get started today with our back-to-school special, just $19.95.
BTS. It's back to school.
Benton and Bryant's Karate for Kids. Balloonatics in Benton is the largest balloon and gift store in Arkansas. You'll find more than 700 different balloons for all occasions, but that's only the start. Balloonatics also has candy bouquets, custom-made gift baskets, hundreds of soft, cuddly stuffed animals, a big selection of over-the-hill gag gifts and party supplies. Balloonatics is your Thai Beanie Babies official club headquarters. We do custom decorating for any event, and we deliver from Glen Rose to Little Rock. So what are you waiting for? Join the fun with Pat Gibson and her friendly, courteous staff at Balloonatics.
Sometimes tension in a relationship is good, especially if it's the new tension set mounting developed exclusively in Arkansas by Croft Custom Jewelers. For all your gift ideas and special occasions, come by Croft Custom Jewelers and experience jewelry with passion. Croft Custom Jewelers is a great selection of platinum, 18-karat gold, diamonds, 14-karat slide bracelets, and other fine jewelry at affordable prices. Croft Custom Jewelers, jewelry with passion.
Location, location, location. These are 3 of the most important words in real estate, and Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden is one of the most experienced real estate agencies in Saline County. Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden is part of a nationwide network of real estate firms that have combined resources to give you the advantage of our local expertise, plus the benefit of our nationally recognized and respected name. So remember, when it comes to real estate, come to Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden.
Johnston's Maytag Benton Silvac has a new location, now at 1423 Military Road next to the new post office in Benton. But we've still got the best appliances, parts, and service you've known for over 20 years. We sell, repair, and service all makes and models. Check out our gas grill selection, sewing machines, televisions, vacuum cleaners, and much, much more.
If we don't have it, you probably don't need it.
Now at 1423 Military next to the new post office in Benton.
The Hornets took advantage, as we said, most all of their opportunities in the first half, and they'll hope to do that again. Really, the key was answering right back after Catholic had knocked it 19 to 7. They came back big.
Big not touchdown run, but a kickoff return.
Josh Farmer made that run. This time it'll come to the other side, and this is Jonathan Jameson. He brings it up the middle. He gets to the 35, the 40, and then that's where he's brought down. Another nice return, and the Hornets will have good field position once again.
I tell you, they had that wedge between the hash marks and just mowing up down the field. Of course, Catholic remembered that long run back. They kicked it to the other side. They kicked it away from Farmer that time. And Jameson came very close to burning it.
Yes, indeed. And, of course, Matt White is the best returner the Hornets have.
That's right.
The speediest Hornet. Hornets have the football, 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. No huddle offense, as usual. And they have a 26-7 lead. Now we've got a timeout, official timeout for some reason. Nope, Catholic wants a timeout. They've got a personnel problem here. Well, they have too many on the field.
And I tell you just do not want to start out with a penalty. And start out a penalty like that coming out of halftime. You've had that big fiery talk. And, Rob, I think there's a very minor change that has occurred all of a sudden. I can't find Coach Callie.
Well, Callie is the one
that works next door? But I don't see him. I mean, he's just not here. I'm trying to find him on the sideline, or if he's here hiding out someplace from me.
He was in the press box the first half. Catholic, boy, that's got to burn a coach's.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To come out first play and you got 12 guys on the field in your defense and you have to burn a timeout on the first play.
Maybe Callie's calling plays from a hidden location.
Could be. Derek McCoy, once again, the quarterback. He's got Luke Brown behind him at the lone setback. Double wide out to the side. Handoff to Luke Brown. He comes around the right side, breaks a tackle, and gets across the 40 to the 45-yard line. And Luke has been impressive running. He didn't have a bunch of yardage in the first half, but he's done a good job.
But when he touched the ball, he was trying to make something happen.
Yes, indeed. Give him 4 yards on that carry, and it's a 2nd and 6 at the 44. Hornets across the offensive line, of course, have one tackle is Joey Hudman, Josh Workman at the guard, Joe Gould, the senior center, Brad Roberts, the junior guard, and Mike Gann, the senior center on the other side, and those guys have been blowing some holes here. Here we got a quarterback draw, and McCoy brings it up across the 45 to maybe the 47. Little hesitation, not much hesitation on that. He just took the snap in the shotgun and headed straight ahead.
A little bit different than what we saw last week. He started a man in motion out of the backfield. And like you said, there was not much hesitation, so it was pretty well sniffed out, but he still picked up a nice game.
It's at the 47, brings up a 3rd and 3. Opening drive, second half. Hornets with a 26-7 lead over the Catholic Rockets. Derek McCoy under center this time, fakes a handoff to Brown, rolls to his left, and passes complete to Matt Brown. First down and out of bounds at the Catholic 40-yard line.
And what a play, and I want to tell you folks, that kind of pass, you might say that was just a good pass. But when you're running left and you're right-handed and you throw the ball and put a little zip on it, it's a great play. So hats off to McCoy on that one.
Thrown out of bounds on the play was Matt Brown by Jeff Pruninsky, who Brown almost slipped out of his grasp there. He made a fine run on a touchdown play earlier in this ball game. McCoy again to pass, fakes, looks, throws. He's got Wallace, and Wallace just can't quite adjust enough to get to that one. He's a little behind him, but that was a catch he made in the first half, similar to that.
Probably the worst pass that we've seen tonight.
McCoy threw it further outside. Wallace was looking inside, and it was over his outside shoulder, and he just couldn't turn around and make the catch, just off his fingertips.
We'll give him one bad one a week, okay?
Sure. 2nd and 10 at the Catholic 40. Bryant in possession, opening drive of the second half. got double wideouts either side. It's Wallace and Farmer on this side. On the far side, it's looks like Matt Brown and Matt White. Rolls to the left, throws a little flat pass to Luke Brown out of the backfield, and it's complete for an 8-yard gain before McCoy did a good job of getting that away under pressure.
Rob, I don't think I've ever seen anyone go in motion in that way. He was kind of hopping to one side and hopped back to the other side and then took off and caught a pass. Have you seen anybody in motion like that?
That was unique. An 8-yard pickup, though. It worked.
Man, if unique works, brother, keep it coming. Keep it coming.
3rd and 2 at the 32. Luke Brown hauls in the catch and an 8-yard pickup. He gets the ball on the run this time. Breaks it outside, gets a first down inside the 25, down close to the 20-yard line. We'll call it the 22, where he's gang tackled. And Luke doing a good job of finding the opening.
Tell you what, Rob, the Hornets have come out looking sharp on this drive. And Catholic, started with that penalty, and they just almost like they hadn't recovered from that little penalty to start with, or the timeout they had to call to start with.
10-yard pickup for Luke Brown on the run. Again, McCoy to pass. Fakes the out, throws the up, and it is Luke.
It ought to be a touchdown.
Matt Brown, touchdown, Bryant. Just inside the pylon,
but there's a holding call.
Uh-oh. Nicely timed pattern and pass play, but it's going to come back.
Oh, man, the ref had to run up there to make sure that the ball crossed the goal line, and it did. And, boy, another killer penalty, bringing back a touchdown. And the flag was thrown early, holding in the backfield. Now, Rob, they've been able to overcome all their penalties so far, and I'll tell you, I think they're going to be able to overcome this. 1st and 20, give them 3 shots to make that 20 yards.
They're back at their Catholic 32-yard line. 1st and 20. 10:25 left, 3rd quarter, 26-7, the Bryant lead. They just had a touchdown called back. McCoy, he's going to throw the same play, but this time well covered, and McCoy has dropped the first time he's been sacked tonight. And really the play was good coverage in the secondary, gave Joseph White the chance to make to drop McCoy for the loss. Back to the 37-yard line, a loss of 5 on the play.
Well, Rob, as we get so close to pay dirt, it's getting tough having to force yourself to go backwards.
And now we got motion as Michael Wallace in the far wide out here. He started a little too soon. So the Hornets penalties continue to plague them. What is that, 11 now?
I believe that's right, isn't it? 10 penalties so far, 65 yards, and loss of a touchdown. Now they're going back. I think a little frustration is setting in there. They were clicking. It was we were just talking about how sharp they were looking this half. Boy, how quickly that can change.
Well, they were...
now it's 2nd down in about half a mile.
They need 30. They were at the 22. Now they're at the 42. Going backwards here. A couple of penalties and a lost yardage play on the sack. 2nd down, 30 yards to go at the 42 for the Hornets. Wallace, or McCoy, rolls right, looks that way, and the man falls down, and it's intercepted. The first interception of the season. Pruninsky brings it back across the 40 and near the 50-yard line. The receiver had fallen down, and Pruninsky was there by himself to intercept it.
Yeah, the pass was where it was supposed to be. The receiver fell down, like you're saying, Rob. Boy, has this fired up the Catholic coaching squad. They were just wanting something positive to happen. And, when you get those penalties and put yourself in that position, things like that tend to follow through, don't they?
Yes,
you're trying to force something to make the outstanding play.
Pruninsky brings it back to the 49-yard line. Catholic with possession of their own 49. Scott Gallagher, who led them on their touchdown drive in the 2nd quarter, comes back in at quarterback. He's a senior, 5'8", 152. Gives a handoff up the middle to Mickle, and he breaks it outside. It's up to 40 and down inside the Bryant 40 and out of bounds. That's where Josh Bombeck drove him out, but Mickle breaks it clean on 1st down.
Rob, you say it so many times, man, a defensive play just sparks the whole team, sparks your offense again. And Gallagher has played well tonight. He really came in and gave him a lift. And he is fired up now, trying to get them to move forward.
What's helped them is they've started giving it to Mickle.
Mickle
didn't carry the ball much early in the game, and he's been tough lately. Gallagher again to Mickle. This time he breaks it outside and has dropped for a loss. Nice job there for the Hornets on the tackle. I believe that was Reynolds, Sean Reynolds, breaking through and making the tackle, and Mickle not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. He loses a yard.
Hornet defense stiffened up on that one. This will be an interesting play call here, I think, 2nd and long.
2nd and 11 at the 39. Catholic in Bryant territory. Hornets had a touchdown just a moment ago, called back due to a penalty, and then the interception, their first turnover of the season here in the third quarter of the second game. Handoff this time on the trap to White, and there is Jake Newell. The ball is loose. And who has it?
Hornets say they have it.
Hornets have the turnover. The defense gets it right back for the Hornets. And on the ball is Michael McClellan, but Jake Newell's hit.
Jake Newell hit. He came from that linebacker position and put a pop on him. And we could not even see the fumble, Rob. We had to see the reaction of the players on that. And, boy, just as excited as you get over a turnover on the Catholic sideline, just as deflated as you get again. And the Hornets made a lucky break. But they made the break.
They made it. Big hit, and Johnny on the spot was Michael McClellan, and now the Hornets have it back, 1st and 10 at their own 37. Handoff to Matt White. He gets around the corner, breaks the tackle, but goes down at about the 42-yard line, a pickup of 5. And again, every time the young man gets a hold of the football, it looks like he might break it.
Well, if the Catholic Rockets stay in the formation they were in that play, Bryant's going to run the ball all night on them because they're playing with only 3 down linemen. Their linebackers are backed up, and they're almost giving 4 or 5 yards if any kind of blocking occurs at all. See how spread out that they are.
Yep.
This is a pass defense.
Yes, it is. White, again, gets a handoff up the middle, stumbles, gets to the 45. He got tripped up a little bit there. I think Catholic's Luke Shelton got a hand on a foot, and that's kept him from breaking that. He had a little running room.
Catholic apparently has decided they've got to stop the big pass and give the run, and the Hornets are going to take it. They're going to take that run.
Give White 2 yards on that carry. It's going to be a 3rd and 3 at the Bryant 44. Again, White's the lone setback, double wideouts to either side, and Catholic's got defenders right up on both of them. 2 safeties back deep. In motion is Jamison. They hand it off up the middle. Matt White got the first down, and he's out near midfield. And the running game now is starting to take its toll on the Rockets.
Well, they have the nose guard, and their other defensive lineman was in position. The other one standing up. So, in essence, they had 2 down linemen opposing 5 blockers.
First down, 10.
You can run, Rob. You can run on that position.
I think he can. And then the Hornets are proving it right now. Offensive line doing a good job. They're getting out to those linebackers, too. McCoy, though, is going to throw on this one. Wallace, again, the fade. He comes back for it, makes the catch at the 35 down to the 32. And again, Michael Wallace, a good job of adjusting under the ball.
Wallace has been great to watch and fun to watch this year. He's got that defender outside. He's a little taller than he is, but he has the advantage looking at the ball and played it. Beautiful pass and catch.
18-yard pickup on the play, and it's a 1st and 10 at the Catholic 32.
I think the Hornets want this touchdown to make up for that last one called back.
Jamison in motion. They hand it to him.
You knew we were going to see it.
Wing back around, and Catholic has scouted him, and you play it pretty well. The linebackers got over there to play it, but they still get a good 3 or 4 yards on that carry. Alex Jones and Joseph White come up on the play to make the tackle. A 3-yard pickup for Jonathan Jamison.
It's kind of one of those bread and butter plays we had so much success with last year. And so you knew you were going to see it at least once tonight.
Well, they had faked it earlier when White got a good gain and gave it to White. That's picked up good yardage. It's a 2nd and 7 at the 30. White up the middle, follows the blocking and gets down to the 25, maybe the 24-yard line. He put a hand on the back of Workman there, I believe it was. It may have been Roberts, the blocker ahead of him, and just kind of rode him down to the 5. Got close to the first down, but it's going to be a 3rd and short.
Definitely 4 down territory here. But they're going to make a 1st down on this play.
Might be field goal territory. Give those field goal kickers a chance. 3rd and 2 at the 25-yard line.
Depends on the spot, Rob.
Off right tackle goes Luke Brown back in the ball game for the short yardage play, and he's going to be close to a 1st down. They'll probably need a measurement on this one. If not, are they going to call it 4th down?
No, he's definitely made it, Rob. They need to.
I think he's a little short, Jim.
He's barely short. They ought to measure this thing.
They're not going to. They say it's 4th and a yard. It's actually less than a yard.
Well, you can see the hash mark now. They're correct. They're about 8 inches short. 8 inches short. You can see the faded out hash mark. The hashes are not striped.
You were right. They're going to go for it. And they give it to Jamison on that little wing back around. He's got the 1st down inside the 20 to the 19, maybe the 18-yard line. Nicely executed play. And it does take good timing to run that play to catch the guy, to get the snap when the guy gets right to the quarterback. And it is a first down. Jonathan Jameson on the flanker reverse, I guess we can call it. A 5-yard gain. It's a 1st and 10 at the Catholic 19. Hornets trying to add to a 26-7 lead with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. McCoy looks to throw down the middle, overthrows his intended receiver, and probably a good thing that Josh Farmer was well covered on that play.
Yeah, and it was, and perhaps he threw it away because it was well over his head into the no-man's zone back there, so he's probably just protecting the football.
2nd and 10 at the 19. McCoy looks to the sideline for the play. Has double wideouts either side. Now gets under center. The lone setback is Luke Brown. He fakes to him, rolls to his left, throws. He got Matt Brown, and out of bounds goes Brown after making the catch at the 12-yard line. It's going to be short of a first down, but a good pickup.
I tell you, McCoy is growing in confidence every game, isn't he? We've only seen him twice, but he's into his offense. I don't know how else to say it.
Well, Matt
he likes
Brown,
what he's doing, playing into his ability. Looks well.
It does indeed. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 3 at the 12. Matt Brown, I think, has only missed one pass thrown his way. That one that was just off his fingertips earlier in this game. He's turning into quite a receiver. Now we have a fumble. The timing wasn't right on that wing back reverse or flanker reverse.
Yeah, I think he was going to fake that one and send it up the middle, and very fortunate that they didn't turn the ball over. Rob, it's a 4th down, and, you'd love to see them go for it, but I'd love to see that field goal. They need that experience.
It's going to be 4th and 4 at the 13-yard line, and in will come Nick Harbert to do the field goal, and it'll be marked at the 20. Josh Farmer will be the holder. Harbert will attempt a 30-yard field goal with 3:45 and counting in the third quarter.
Farmer to hold Harbert's kick.
First field goal attempt this year.
There's a snap. It's good. Farmer gets it down. Harbert's kick is long enough, high enough, but no good. Off to the left. Again, he pulled it a little bit, and the field goal is wide left. So, with 3:30 left in the third quarter, the score remains Bryant 26, Catholic 7, and we have that's Praninsky was a little slow getting up there for Catholic. It looks like he's got a cramp. Charlie horse there.
Charlie horse or a cramp, something knotted up on his leg. He's going to have to stretch. He was trying to stretch it out. And boy, I tell you, I've had those things before. They are one painful knot on your leg. It's breaking our action as we're having this turnover. Turnover of possession, by the way. Gives us a chance to remind you that Rick Lafferty and Donnie McEwen of Liberty Real Estate are one of the sponsors tonight, as well as Pepsi, the Bryant Times, your hometown newspaper, by the Learning Center, and by Karen Crowson of Phillips Mounty Duke Real Estate. Be sure to call Coach Tom Farmer at 847-5601 if you want to get one of those reserved seats for what's going to be a special night to remember next week as we celebrate 50 years of football in Bryant.
Well, the Catholic Rockets need to get something going. They bring back their senior starter, Neil Lineberry, at quarterback. He options left. Not much room to run. Nice job of pursuit by Luke Brown and Jake Newell, the linebackers. And Lineberry are only able to pick up a yard on that. They really strung that out to the wide side nicely.
Strung it out well. I don't know why they went back to him unless Lineberry apparently maybe has a stronger arm. And they're almost at that point in the game they're going to have to pass a little bit. They're going to have to score a little quicker.
True. And he is getting his call from his coach at the sideline, and fixing to come in with him is Chris Prime.
Well, the Hornets have had two possessions this half, hadn't they, Rob? And they sputtered down in that red zone twice.
Yeah.
Of course, that holding penalty brought it back.
And then a little fumble.
Little fumble did.
Well, Catholic trying to take advantage here. Lineberry, the quarterback. He's got Prime and Mickle behind him. Hands off to Prime on a sweep. And a nice job by Bobby Wynn to get around the blockers and bring down Prime, or slow him up enough to have help come. And they drop him for a loss of a yard.
Well, Wynn had a handful of jersey. He wasn't going to let go, was he? Great tackling. No, he saw the play fall off the block and made one of those behind the scrimmage line tackles. I want to tell you, coaches and fans love to see those, don't they?
They do indeed, and that's a play that Conway burned Bryant with a little bit, and looks like the Hornets gone to school on that and have it figured out.
They've also been able to stop that run up the middle. We don't see anything making the yardage it did last week.
They fake it inside, and Lineberry rolls out under pressure, throws. Intercepted at the 35. This is Jesse Jones. He brings it up to the 32-yard line. Michael McClellan putting the pressure on Lineberry, and he threw it back over the middle and right to Jesse Jones.
Tell you, he was just throwing to get rid of the football, and maybe he thought he was throwing it down to where it'd be incomplete because there was nobody within 5 yards of it except white jerseys. They've won the turnover battle so far. They've got 2 turnovers, and I think the Hornets would love to punch this ball in. Jeremy Wooten, I believe, has come in tonight.
It is. Jeremy Wooten, the quarterback, 1st and 10 at the Catholic 33-yard line. And the Hornets, once again, this game has been played on Catholic's end of the field. Wooten, hands off.
What a catch.
Around. Nice job. Cuts back against the grain across the 35, the 25, the 20, 15, 10. Luke Brown, touchdown. Nice run by Luke Brown.
What a cut dog. Made 2 of those nice steps going against the grain. It just kept flowing to the outside to his left and broke it on in there, and they punched it in that time. Didn't they, Rob? One play.
That's taking advantage of a turnover, isn't it?
I tell you, one play and turn it around. And kind of in a little bit of that frustration I've been building on the sideline is they've been so close twice, been unable to put it in. Swinging gate, and the Hornets showed last week that they'll do that on that extra point.
Josh Alt now has come in to kick the extra point after a couple of miscues by Nick Harbert. Not Nick's night, so they go to Josh. Boy, what a luxury to have 2 guys
That's
that
right.
turn to.
Also, don't want to forget Josh Farmer's the holder on this, a very key part of the kicking game. That one's through.
And it is good. Josh Alt kicks it through, and with 1:38 left in the 3rd quarter, our score as Bryant 33, Catholic 7.
This break interaction gives us a chance to remind you of the great people who are bringing you these Hornet broadcasts on Falcon Cable this year, live on radio and also on a tape-delayed basis, shown on Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Sponsored tonight by Rick Lafferty and Dinah McEwen of Liberty Real Estate, by Pepsi, by the Bryant Times, your hometown newspaper. 11:38 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Don't let anybody tell you that Darrell Patton's not an equal opportunity employer.
That's right.
Josh Alt to kick the extra point. Now Nick Harbert takes Alt's place as the kickoff man. He kicks a high one.
Boy, does it.
Come down at the 14. This is Pruninsky. He gets across the 20, the 25, carries the pile, and finally brought down to about the 33-yard line.
Somebody wrapped that ball out who was just being held on to, and so that's one of the best returns they've had tonight on these kickoffs.
One of the best field position situations they've had too. They're out at the 33-yard line, their own 33.
Rob, we don't need to forget. Allowing that young man to kick that ball off is still showing him the coach has faith in him, lets his confidence stay up there. It's a very small thing, but it means big things to both those young men who kick.
Indeed. Now Gallagher's back in at quarterback for Catholic. Scott Allsbrook in the backfield with him. He fakes to Allsbrook, rolls out to the right under pressure, throws incomplete, intended for Mickle. Just a little, led Mickle a little bit too much. And again, the Hornets had good pressure on the quarterback.
Well, Gallagher's just a little bit shorter. We don't have his height, but you can tell he's probably having a little bit harder time to see over the big lineman coming at him. And you want those quarterbacks throwing under pressure.
Hornet defense has looked very good tonight. One touchdown drive by Catholic, and really they've done a fine job. It's now 2nd and 10. Hand off to Mickle inside, and he is wrapped up and pushed back. Underneath there was Defoe, and on top was Jake Newell, who...
Well, they wasn't going to let him go anywhere tonight, not in their neighborhood, and they're not going up the middle 2 weeks in a row. What a great tackle.
No gain there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 at the 33.
Catholic right now, I think, is trying to search for something that they can work, and that will be able to pick up some positive yardage. But the Hornet defense seems to be just too quick. They're attacking, as you said, the defensive scheme went to the 4-3, more of an attack defense this year.
Justin Keene, the senior, is in at defensive end for the Hornets. It's really the only substitution I see. He's in there for McClellan. Andy Summers in at a tackle. Fake handoff. Gallagher rolls, looks downfield left side, and incomplete. Well covered on the play. Brantley well covered by Bombeck, and Bombeck had the inside track on catching that ball if it had been catchable at all.
If it had been catchable, it would have been intercepted. What a hard pass he made it. He had a great throw, also moving left, throwing over his body. But if it had been accurate, it had been intercepted.
35 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Bryant with a 33-7 lead, and a punt is about to come our way. It is Alex Merritt in to punt once again.
Well, I hope it comes Bryant way. I'd hate to see it come up the press box, Rob.
Well, that would be a heck of a punt.
Well, I tell you what, it'd get some scouts' attention here.
This time the Hornets look to be trying to set up a return. Matt Brown will call a fair catch on a low-line driver that he might have had room to run on.
He had room to run on. You know, we were wondering in the first half why he was so dangerous with it and just really running. But that line driver usually always gives you a return.
Might have been a knuckleball that he wasn't sure he was going to catch.
And that's very true, very true.
He did fair catch it at the 35, and that's where the Hornets will set up shop with 1st and 10 with 28 seconds left in the third quarter. And once again, Jeremy Wooten in at quarterback, junior quarterback.
We'll get some valuable playing time and experience later on this year.
Hands off to Luke Brown up the middle. Still have most of the first teamers in there otherwise. I see in for the first time Kevin Littleton. Pick up of a couple of yards there for Matt Brown, or for Luke Brown that time. It's going to be a 2nd and 8 at the 37.
They don't have to hike this ball. They might just wait to let the quarter run out on this one.
It is going to run out on them. A 3, 2, and 1. And with the fourth quarter on the way, our score once again is the Bryant Hornets 33, the Catholic Rockets 7.
Balloonatics in Benton is the largest balloon and gift store in Arkansas. You'll find more than 700 different balloons for all occasions, but that's only the start. Balloonatics also has candy bouquets, custom-made gift baskets, hundreds of soft, cuddly stuffed animals, a big selection of over-the-hill gag gifts and party supplies. Balloonatics is your Ty Beanie Babies official club headquarters. We do custom decorating for any event, and we deliver from Glen Rose to Little Rock. So what are you waiting for? Join the fun with Pat Gibson and her friendly, courteous staff at Balloonatics.
BTS, it's back to school.
At Benton Bryant Karate for Kids Family Center, it's back to fun. Karate is great for kids. Build self-esteem and confidence. Learn self-defense and more at Karate for Kids.
BTS.
Want to do this? We'll show you how. Get started today with our back-to-school special, just $19.95.
BTS, it's back to school.
Benton and Bryant's Karate for Kids.
Sometimes tension in a relationship is good, especially if it's the new tension set mounting developed exclusively in Arkansas by Croft Custom Jewelers. For all your gift ideas and special occasions, come by Croft Custom Jewelers and experience jewelry with passion. Croft Custom Jewelers is a great selection of platinum, 18-karat gold, diamonds, 14-karat slide bracelets, and other fine jewelry at affordable prices. Croft Custom Jewelers, jewelry with passion.
Location, location, location. These are 3 of the most important words in real estate, and Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden is one of the most experienced real estate agencies in Saline County. Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden is part of a nationwide network of real estate firms that have combined resources to give you the advantage of our local expertise, plus the benefit of our nationally recognized and respected name. So remember, when it comes to real estate, come to Penfield Real Estate Better Homes and Garden.
Johnston's Maytag Benton Silvac has a new location, now at 1423 Military Road next to the new post office in Benton. But we've still got the best appliances, parts, and service you've known for over 20 years. We sell, repair, and service all makes and models. Check out our gas grill selection, sewing machines, televisions, vacuum cleaners, and much, much more.
If we don't have it, you probably don't need it.
Now at 1423 Military next to the new post office in Benton.
Also, if you're interested in sponsoring these on Falcon, be sure to call Coach Top Farmer at that same number. And Rob set us up for this first play of the fourth quarter.
Got a new running back in there. It's Josh McClellan. Wooten on the roll, gets a foot pass completion, heads to Jonathan Jameson across midfield and down inside Catholic territory to the 46-yard line. Nice job by Wooten on the roll. Gets it to Jonathan Jameson for the completion and a first down.
Hey, Jameson made a great catch, and then he was able to regain his balance and make some good yardage. Ran through a tackler. Another sophomore, I believe, isn't that right, Ron?
That's right, Jonathan Jameson. Had a couple of good classes come through. This is a culmination of some good junior high teams. This is 1st and 10, and we'll call it the 47. Again, Wooten, the quarterback. Hands off to Luke Brown around the right side. Good block on the corner, and Brown heads down the sideline inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Good job there by Josh McClellan on the helping out to seal the corner there with Mike Gann.
Absolutely. Once again, the Catholic is still playing with those 3 down linemen. They're playing a pass defense. And what they did was the Hornets sent the receivers deep, and the defenders had to go with them. There was nobody over there, and he was going to make a good yard. You could just see it from here, Rob. The whole wide that side of the field was open.
19-yard play. And again, the Hornets with a 1st and 10. Now they're at the 28. Handoff around the left side. That's Matt White. Breaks a tackle, breaks another, gets inside the 20. Matt White showing some determination there.
Absolutely. There's no way he should have made those yardage.
Be close to another 1st down.
The defense was on that side of the field. He was running through their jerseys.
It is a 1st down inside the 18 at the 17-yard line. Give him 11 yards on that carry. 1st and 10, and now the Hornets are really chewing up the yardage.
And chewing up the clock as they do this.
Jeremy Wooten, the quarterback, he's a junior. Led the Mustangs to a 9-1 season in 9th grade. Hands off this time, up the middle. Good run there into the game for the first time. Sophomore Matt Nugent gets it inside the 15 to the 13.
Matt Nugent was one of those bell cows for that junior high team as well.
5-yard pickup there for Nugent. Now we have a timeout we're in the 4th quarter with Bryant holding a 33-7 lead and driving for another score, it looks like. There's a handoff to Nugent and a fumble. Nugent tried to just pick it up and run with it, and now it's loose and looks like Catholic's going to get on it. Instead of just falling on it, the young sophomore tried to pick it up and make some positive yardage, but the ball was knocked away, and there to pick it up for Catholic was Kyle Crevens. As Catholic sets to snap it at their own 16. Line barrier back in at quarterback. Hand off to Prime, and he is met and knocked back. Nice job there. Keene was in on that play, but the big hit was put on by Adam Hurley.
Now, Hurley was able to stand his man up, drive him backwards, picture tackle.
They lost. They were at the 16. They actually picked up, I guess, a couple of yards on that play. It'll be a 2nd and 8 at the 18. Hornet defense, even now that they're starting to substitute a little, they're really coming up with some good plays.
Hey, those guys want to play.
It's encouraging to see. Double wing formation for Catholic now. Line barrier fakes, rolls out.
There's nowhere to throw.
Pressure, nobody to throw to. Good coverage in the secondary. And Defoe, along with, looks like Matt Lewis was in to make that tackle.
Robbie actually fumbled a football. He's very fortunate he landed on it. Had he not landed on it straight down, it would have been a turnover. But that was a secondary sack, if you will, because the coverage was so great, there was absolutely nowhere to go with it.
Brings up a 3rd and 18, a loss of 10 on that play. And he rolled right to get away from the rush, but like you said, Jim, the coverage was so good that it gave time for Matt Lewis and Patrick Defoe to get in there for the sack. Now Defoe comes out of the ball game, and into the game is Justin Stevens, another sophomore, as the Hornets get some playing time for the younger guys. Handoff on the trap inside. This is Lewis, I believe, and he breaks it across the 20, 25, and out close to the 30 before he's brought down from behind by Stevens, who just checked into the ball game, hustling downfield from his defensive tackle spot. But a good job of running there. That was Ryan James, who picked up that yardage out to the 34-yard line, the 26-yard run on the wingback trap.
Wingback trap. The reason it worked is the linebacker was on a blitz that time, and he blitzed his way into the blocking. He just as easily could have plugged the hole, but he went a different direction, and that left it open.
This time they give it to Prime on the sweep. Tries to get to the corner, gets around one guy, but boy, he stayed with it. Bobby Wynn stayed with him, drags him down eventually, but a good pickup for Prime as he gets across the 45 for another 1st down out to about the 48-yard line.
Rob, that's the first time Prime has been able to turn the corner tonight, if I remember right, on the Hornet defense.
Bring another 1st down for Catholic. They trail this ball game 33-7 to Bryant. Trying to get some more points on the board. They're just outside their own 47 at the 48-yard line. 1st and 10. Neil Linebarrier, the quarterback, gives to Prime once again around right side.
Boy, he is
met at the 49 and driven back. A nice form tackle put on there by the linebacker there, Matt Clark, or maybe he's working at the defensive end. I'm not sure where Clark, who just checked into the ball game, where he was lining up. Nice hit.
Well, great hit and great picture tackle, just like you said, just the way you're supposed to do it. Good form. Prim was primed to pursue some more yardage.
Well, they're at midfield now.
I'm sorry, I ran out of words there.
That's all right. Good effort. Good effort indeed by Matt Clark. who's working at defensive end now that we see him lining up. Give it inside to Mickle. Breaks through a tackle and drags a little bit. Was able to drag Jason Rose for a yard or so before help arrived for Rose, and Mickle gets through. Catholic Rockets have the football. Gallagher gives to Mickle up the middle, and he's got first down yardage. Drives to the 40-yard line of Bryant. Really the only starter I see. A couple of starters in there for Bryant still. That's Bobby Wynn coming back in. Nick Black now will check out. Bombeck's in. And Jake Newell just is still in the ball game.
Shea, number 9, came in. He's also another sophomore. Boy, the field is loaded with sophomores for the Hornets.
First and 10, Bryant 40. Gallagher looks to throw. His arm is hit as he threw, and the ball falls incomplete. He was lucky that wasn't interception off the deflection. Good pressure there by the Hornets. Gallagher, I didn't see who hit him.
Well, there was 2 shirts going after him. Great pressure up the middle. Once again, you want that quarterback throwing under pressure. Listen, the Hornets, just because they got sophomores out there, they don't want to let this team score.
Some of the sophomores have made some fine plays.
They sure they have. Bodes well for the future.
So it brings up a 2nd and 10 at the 40. Gallagher takes a snap, short drop, looks to throw, and incomplete. He was trying to get it to his wide receiver on this side, Graham Bomer, but boy, it was almost intercepted on a diving attempt by Bobby Wynn.
I don't know if he was able to touch the ball or not. I couldn't see if it was deflected. But it sure flashed. I think broke concentration on the receiver. Big 4th down play here. Of course, it'd be 4 down territory for them to play the ball game.
The quarterbacks always come to the sideline to get the play call. That time Gallagher sprinted back to the huddle to make the call. Hand off inside to Mickle. Breaks it out a little bit. Gets across the 35, down inside the 35 to the 33. It'll be short of a first down, but it'll bring up a 4th down, but I'm sure that this will be a 4-down territory for Catholic. Trailing 33-7.
Have to, Rob. But you know, if I'm on Catholic sideline right now, the best thing that's worked consistently tonight is Mr. Mickle. And I try to figure some way to get him to the outside and let him try to make something happen.
He has been a fine ball carrier for him tonight. And the size advantage the Catholic Rockets had on the offensive line over Bryant's defensive line hasn't really materialized other than those situations. Gallagher looks to throw. He's got a slant pass, and he hits the man in the numbers.
3rd turnover tonight.
None of them have hurt so far. Gallagher will try to, and the Rockets will try to make them pay for this. We got substitutes up and down the lineup for the Hornets on offense now. See if we can get you some of those names in here. Give a yard to McClellan on the play to bring up a 2nd and 9 at the 34. Still got Wallace and Jamison in at the wide receivers on the far side. Farmer split out to the left. Running back now, they've gone back to the sophomore, and again the ball is knocked loose and fumble.
3rd turnover tonight.
None of them have hurt so far. Gallagher will try to, and the Rockets will try to make them pay for this one with a late touchdown. But there is a nice play on Prime as he tried to cut it up the middle. Andy Summers.